holy name.
We praise your holy name today.
Blessed be the name of Yah.
We praise you today.
Hallelujah.
We praise you today.
We praying in the spirit of Matthew 6 and 9. Maybe Jeremiah can do the prayer in Matthew 6, Our Father's prayer, right? Or if anybody else want to say the prayer or read the prayer, you know, we facing the east. The east is this way. Right. So if you want to say the prayer, Emanon, Shalom, Mr. Brother Maharakah, YAHAWAH, and we have
Emanon, y'all shall look them out to the south, baby. What's happening? You already know
Shalom, ATL Yaiko, we in the building, right? This is the E37 ministry, Army of Israel, representing the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
Yeah, say the prayer, Our Father's prayer.
Everybody face the east. Women's heads covered, men's heads uncovered. Everybody face the east.
Go ahead.
Our Father. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, man. Man, I'd like to give it up to my Emanon, man. We got a new song coming out this weekend.
What's that?
Yours is the kingdom.
Oh man, yeah, this is gonna be an exciting time, y'all. And my brother put me onto this. Every month we was putting out a different visual. Now, you know, everything is about visuals, and so we just prayed it over the next few seasons with these visuals that's coming out, that y'all pay very close attention and use your eyes to see and ears to hear and understand. We trying to make sure that it all correlates with scripture, some of what we doing visually. And so, yeah, we definitely got a lot of exciting new things on the way. Plus, with this new music video coming out, you get a chance to see me behind the cameras. And shout out to all of the ones that's, you know, jumping behind the cameras and doing all the awesome work. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Travell and Millie and all the awesome people that's coming in, Fathead, and everybody that's getting involved. You know what I'm saying? Tap the screen one time if you can hear me. Tap the screen one time if you can hear me. It's going down. Yeah, so we in this thing and we picking up where we left off a little while back when we were talking about the Maccabean revolt, correct?
We're gonna definitely go back into that. A couple of topics I want to deal with, right? But I'm just gonna let the spirit flow. I don't know if anybody may have a question before we start about something. But there's a few things I want to deal with. I definitely want to touch on the closing of Hanukkah. I also want to talk about, it's a few topics, and I may have to just do a separate Proverbs 31, full court blast. I did this years ago, and I did a lot of my classes on audio. So I'm just have to put the visuals, update certain things, and bring out this word. But we definitely gonna touch on the closing of Hanukkah, right? So we can get to that. So I'm gonna pull up blue letter or Art Bible Concordance. We ended with chapter 1, right?
Correct.
So we're gonna read Maccabees. First Maccabees. For those that don't have First Maccabees, look on the screen. Look at the TV screen, and you can see the story on the screen, right? Okay. All right. So let's begin.
All right. We are in the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2. And we're going to start reading at verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorib, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modim. And he had 5 sons. We're in the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2. And we're in verse 2. And he had 5 sons. Johanan called Caddis, Simon called Tassi, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar called Avaran, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aphas. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, Woe is me! Wherefore was I born to see the misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers? Her temple is become as a man without glory.
Right. So these strangers is not Hebrew Israelite strangers. Okay? So this is during the time, as we went over the first lesson, that had what we're known, what we was taught in school, the Hellenistic period, right? Alexander the Great.
Correct.
Okay, and it's 4 generals that we went over the last class. Okay? So it's talking about all the miseries, right?
Right.
That was happening to the children of Israel and the holy city, right? Where with our natural enemies of the nation, the strangers,
Right.
came and persecuted our people. And we're going to see the persecution, right? The so-called Greeks, right? Which is so-called Caucasian people.
Right.
For those of you that want to say they're not the Edomites, okay, fine. They're Caucasian people, right? So-called white people.
Right.
If you see any artwork or depiction of Alexander the Great, he looked no different than Tom, Billy Bob Thornton, or whoever else.
Right.
Let's not play these little games here, right? You anti everything that the Hebrew Israelites speak or teach is not going to stop the judgment of the Most High.
That's right.
He that leadeth into captivity shall what?
Go into captivity.
He that killeth with the sword shall what?
Be put to death with the sword. It's
That's
not a game,
that's
man.
what the Bible says. Be not deceived. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Right.
The Egyptians reaped as a nation firstborn destruction of man and beast for what the Pharaoh and them instituted against the children of Israel. I'm sure there was a good Egyptian. I'm sure there was one that was treating them good.
Right.
But when the Most High brought the 7 plagues, every last Egyptian felt it. That's just what it is. You can sit there and come into your rainbow coalition, and want to love your enemies. That's outlined in this book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. And Edom is the first one on the list. Okay? So if you don't want to make Edom the so-called European, right? That's on you.
It's on you, cuz.
This is not personal. This is the business of the Most High. Like they said, let's get down to business.
Yeah, let's cut to the chase. Let's stop playing. You know what I'm saying? If it's what it is, it does not matter what your feelings are on the matter. This is historical record, and your feelings ain't gonna change it. You can't change history because you feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The children of Israel is going to be judged. 2/3 is going to be judged. That's 66.6%. Like what we talking about here. You see what I'm saying? So if the Lord is going to judge over half his people, what makes you think there's no judgment coming nowhere else?
Right.
This is the Lord's judgment. That we're reading the Bible from a biblical perspective, not from an emotional perspective, man. I know y'all may feel, some of y'all may misrepresent what we're saying in the spirit, which we bringing forth the information, but we're teaching history. We teaching prophecy. We teaching law, statute, commandments. So our people, the children of Israel, and everyone on the planet Earth will come and keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. We're supposed to be a light to the Gentiles. The Gentiles of Israelites, that's in the Gentile state of mind, and all the world, to come back and keep his commandments. And this is what we're going to be learning in this lesson about the Most High's laws. Right?
Right.
The Most High laws. The Most High want everybody to acknowledge him. And when you don't acknowledge him, the Lord will destroy you. Like if I read the book of Isaiah, the 10th chapter, when the Most High rose the Assyrian Empire to destroy Israel, right? They didn't give the Most High praise. They boasted. Right? They boasted in the destruction of the children of Israel and didn't acknowledge that it was the Most High that delivered them into their hands. So the Most High, he said he will destroy them. That's Isaiah the 10th chapter. I'm saying Isaiah the 10th chapter so you can read it. Right? When you read the book of Judith, the 10th chapter, the heathen, I think it was a Ammonite or a Moabite came and told them that these are the children of Israel. And if you war against them, when they are keeping the commandments of the Lord, you will fail.
Right.
But if they forsaken the Most High, then you can subdue them. We can read these scriptures, man. You see what I'm saying? All right there, bro.
All right, we're at verse 8. Her temple is become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity.
Into where?
Into captivity.
Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Go ahead.
Her infants are slain in the streets.
This is history. This is facts. It's not a lie. Go ahead.
Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
With the sword of the who? Your friends?
Of the enemy.
Your enemy, your friend's not going to put a sword through you. Go ahead.
What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? That's cut.
What? You
That's
can go to Daniel 9th chapter to even confirm that verse right there. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? If you're reading the Bible all the way from the book of the Judges, you can see that all nations had the children of Israel in captivity at one point of time in history. Like what we talking about, man? That's why the Bible said in Jeremiah, is Israel a servant? I think it's 2:16 or something like that. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? It's like we just lived the whole life as a nation to be servants.
Right.
Right?
Like a Hebrew slave hit a little different now, don't it?
Right.
Yeah, man, that hit different.
Like, come on, man. What nation have not a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? Read Daniel the 9th chapter. Right? I mean, we can read it. We can read Isaiah 10. I can go all over the Bible. but I really want to try to get through it. Because if I do, you know what I'm saying? Like,
He said, I gotta go in. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely something that we gotta understand. When the Protestants took these books of the Bible out in the 1800s, it was with a purpose. It was so that you would not know or have any knowledge of this history. You have to understand the influence and the you have to understand the influence of the Christian church and how powerful it was at that time. This was a Hellenization of the original people. You got to remember, the language in the land, everybody spoke Hebrew, and then the scattering was what caused so many different nationalities in the earth right now. The set-apart people kept one way. They didn't want to assimilate themselves with Greek culture. Because that's what this is about. This is about God's chosen people saying, you know what? That way ain't healthy for us because it's lawlessness. We detest it. We're not going to rock with it. You know what I'm saying? Some Israelites was with it. Some Israelites was not. But over the course of time, the ones that was more with it beat out the minority. And so then you start to see the punishments rain down on even those who were innocent at those times, who were keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments. Did you have a take on that? Any thoughts on that?
Hold that and get Daniel the 9th chapter right quick.
All right, let me go to the hard copy. You got to have the digital and you got to have the hard copy. Daniel the 9th chapter.
It's up to you, but you can
I like going in way with it too.
Whichever way you want to. I'm trying to set you up to win.
Daniel the 9th chapter, what verse?
Let's start with 1.
Okay, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, starting at verse 1. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans.
Now, we're reading about Darius here, and remember the last time we had the class, Darius was defeated by who? Alexander the Great, right? See what I'm saying? See how these things line up? Go ahead.
In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years, whereof the word of the Most High came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And I set my face unto the Most High to seek by prayer and supplications with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed unto YAHAWAH my power, and made my confession and said, O Master, the great and dreadful YAHAWAH, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him and to them that keep his commandments. We have sinned and have committed iniquity and have done wickedly and have rebelled, even by departing from your precepts and from your judgments.
See that? I don't understand how people try to say, well, we don't have to keep the laws. We're not under the laws. No, we're not under the judgment of the law. Right? Because we're up under the nation's rulership and under their unrighteous decrees and their law. Right? You can't execute the laws of the Most High. And our people are so destroyed for lack of knowledge and so hateful towards each other. You know what I'm saying? Their judgment is off. It's not even based off the law. Right? You know what I'm saying? There's no mercy, there's no compassion, there's no love in it.
No sympathy, none of that.
There's no sympathy, no empathy, anything. Our people just totally have the spirit of hatred. Deuteronomy 28, 54, 55, 56, 57. You see what I'm saying? So the Most High have the work through the nation. He said, I ruleth in the kingdoms of men. Right? That's why you have Romans the 13th chapter, obey the powers that be. Right? Because they're going to establish and they're the sword for the Most High. The Most High work through men. But go ahead. So it's all about the command. He said, O Lord, the great and dreadful power, keeping the covenant that he gave to who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and mercy to them that love him. How do you love the Lord?
Keep his commandments.
To keep his commandments. You can't sit there and say, I love the Lord, and there's no works, there's no actions, there's no deeds to it. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous, man. You see what I'm saying? You don't love the Lord. You love thou. You love yourself.
Let me dumb it down for those in the back that didn't understand what my brother just said. You got a daddy, right? You have a father, right? How you going to show your father you love him unless you do what he says? You can't say you love your daddy, right? And you ain't showed him that you love him through your obedience and reverence to his position in your life. You get what I'm saying? And I just want to bring that out for the Greek speaking and the Christians, because what they'll do is they'll use that word under grace, right? Because they'll use that Christianity doctrine that we're under grace. And that's fine, but as you can see, Israel didn't have no grace period like that. They was either you going to keep these commandments, you was given the prophets, that was your grace period. You was given the warnings, that was your grace period. Then he stood back and let the other nations cook. That's how, you know what I mean? And those were the judgments for disobedience. You feel what I'm saying? So what we're seeing here is that they were admitting that they were at fault. We're admitting that they had sinned against the Most High. Verse 5, we have sinned and have committed lawlessness and have done wickedly and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments. Neither have we hearkened unto the servants, the prophets. There you go right there. So let you know that there was a grace period for them to heed the warnings and then 180 the situation, right? It says, neither have we hearkened unto thy servants, the prophets, which spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O Yahawah, righteousness belongs unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against thee.
So another verse tells us that the children of Israel is scattered all over the globe. Right? So forgive the elders if they want to emphasize the 12 tribes chart in the Western Hemisphere where we are located at, and where we see the suffering of our people here in Babylon, America, that we suffer together. And we highlight the people here that we're next door to. Right? Before there was an internet that everybody around the world could hear the information about who the children of God is. Right? Before the internet, there was no internet. There was no internet.
There was no internet.
There was no internet for everybody around the globe could type on something and see the prophet of the Lord teach that we're the children of Israel.
Right.
So yeah, we didn't have a 12 tribes chart that mentioned everybody or different countries and lands, because we here in Babylon the Great, America. Like, that's just what it is. You feel me? So yeah, we know Israel is scattered all over. That's common sense, and we even deal with the modern technology of being able to travel by plane, right? Traveling through wars. Men that went to war and had children at war, and through the various historical events where we traveled to different lands fleeing from persecution. See what I'm saying? And being in these different captivities that we was in, and those of our people that kept those customs and dwelt in those lands even after that captivity was over. Right? Like right here in America right now. Right? When the slaves that was here, it was free. Some left America, went to Iberia, went to Europe, went to Asia, went all over the world. Right? We get that. We understand it. Go.
All right, we're at verse 8. O Yahawah, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee.
Right. They had these images of so-called Europeans saying they depicted them as the children of Israel.
Right.
But the Bible and the history says otherwise. So if we bring out the information and say, hey, this is wrong, why are you mad? What's the problem? Color doesn't matter. We didn't make color a matter. We didn't make it. That was created in the 1900s, right? Or the late 1800s when they classified the nations in Mongoloid, Caucasoid, and Negroid.
Right. That was never the original classification of the civilization of people. We all know it was Shemite, Hamite, Japhite. And then the men that were responsible for changing up the classifications is why we have the invention that is known as racism today. Even within racism, you have different branches of racism within the types of racism. So it was never necessarily about racism. It was always about bloodline and the classification of the human family.
Go ahead, bring it up.
All right, so let's see.
Verse
Verse 9. To Yahweh our power belong mercies and forgivenesses, though we have rebelled against him.
So the Most High will accept your forgiveness. Right? Unto the Lord our God belong mercy and forgiveness. He want to forgive you. He want to have mercy on you. But you have to come with a broken and contrite spirit.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times the Most High going to bring you all the way down to build you up. You see what I'm saying? You keep playing with the Most High. I don't care if you end the walk. You know what I'm saying? The Most High can still bring you all the way down to the very last compound. You know what I'm saying? Where there you have no choice but to cry out to him.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? I done experienced this. I done experienced it. Maybe more than once. Right? But I experienced it, man. You see what I'm saying? And the scripture says what? He that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. A lot of y'all go through trials and tribulations, or you go through relationships in Israel, and you blame the word, or I being an Israelite, for your belief system, and now the belief system is false.
Right.
And so now you go back to the dog, the vomit, right? And you sucking up on the vomit. And now your judgment is worse, because if you forsake MASHAYACH and you blaspheme, there's no forgiveness for you. It's a Reynolds rap.
You're done.
I don't care what that person or that woman or whoever the individual is. I came to the truth because I believe the words written. I believe what's in the spirit of the Most High. It doesn't matter if I lovest thou, woman.
Right.
You can bounce and leave. I'm not going to bounce on the word of the Most High for thou.
It doesn't matter if you family. It don't matter none of that. It doesn't matter if you blood or mud. This word forever. And if you're given these laws, statutes, and commandments and these precepts, it very much helps to learn, right? But just standing on the very same principles that our forefathers stood on, these people were willing to die for what they believed in.
Right.
Our people were being massacred at this time. This wasn't no light thing. Niggas wasn't just getting thrown in jail. Boys was being killed. Babies was being killed. Women was getting, young women, young daughters. I look across this room and I see sisters and I see young daughters in here. They was killing women at this time. It was killing the young boys. My nephew right here. They was killing us. Young, old, it did no matter. The scripture even say
the daughters of Israel.
Didn't the scripture say that there would come a people that would have no respect for the young or the old? Correct?
Right.
That's these people. These people had no respect for whether you was elderly. Some of us got big mamas, pawpaws, and all that. They didn't have no respect for these people. They was killing these folks because they was not willing to turn against Torah. You know what I'm saying?
And all nations that rule. All nations that rule. It doesn't matter the ethnicity of them. Israel was in captivity being destroyed by multiple nations.
Which means some of them were just as dark as I am. Just as dark as our brother right here. You get what I'm saying? So you got to understand, Israel was a set apart people. The Most High said, "This is what I want from y'all. This is how you'll be the conduit for the other nations to get acknowledgement from me." You get what I'm saying? Teach them how to keep my laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? And then you see our forefathers drop the ball and go into slavery or go into captivity through idolatry and idol worship, picking up the habits of the other nations and trying to become Hellenized. That's what our forefathers did in 1 Samuel when they was like, well, let's get this king. Let's go and try to get a king like the other nations. So there was the ball drop. Yet again, we're seeing Israel having to acknowledge they mess up because of abandoning the way. That's what they did. They were abandoning the way. So we're at verse 9. To Yahweh our power belong mercies and forgivenesses, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Most High our power to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets.
We're supposed to walk in his what?
His laws.
All through the Bible, it keep talking about laws.
There go the laws.
How can you govern yourself or live without law?
Right.
You follow the laws of the system. So why can you not follow the law of the Most High? If he give you dietary laws, moral laws, civil laws,
business laws,
war laws.
Laws on how you treat your
You know what I'm
friends.
saying?
Laws on
Laws-
how you deal with your children.
Laws how you deal with your husband. Laws
Man,
how you deal
come
with
on.
your wife. Laws how you deal with your children.
Laws.
Laws, laws.
You're gonna be judged on what? Cause come on now, we ain't slow. What do MASHAYACH say in the scriptures? In that day they gonna say Adonai, right? And he gonna say, I don't even know you. Depart from me.
Prophesy to thy
Practice lawlessness. You got a whole bunch of people who was out here hooping and hollering and rolling around and dancing and foaming at the mouth saying they was in the spirit, but really they was in the spirit of confusion. And they don't know the Most High. The Most High don't know them. YAHAWASHI don't know them. And it says that in the scriptures. So what we're seeing is why the Most High is dealing specifically with Israel. I gave you a covenant. You said you was going to follow it. You knew the penalty for breaking that covenant. This is what's going to happen. You feel me? So automatically you're looking at punishment, and you ain't going to get no mercy until you acknowledge your fault.
Simple. What's the problem?
It's just what it is. I don't understand how the Christian church can make it seem like, oh, you can just keep messing up, and it's all told. No, that's off. Once you have acknowledgement, you have to turn away, right, and stay the course. That's why this is an endurance race. I was some of our people, I was reading in the Maccabees, looking at how some of our people would have rather died than to go against the Torah. How many Israelites are really built like that in this year? How many Israelites built like that, man?
And we're gonna read these scriptures, man. We're gonna see. Would you do it? And let's be real. You can say whatever you want to say. Safe world right now. We're going good, lay back, chill. Got a little Apple smart TV world, iPhone world, got a little job, little car, all that world.
They didn't have none of these modern conveniences.
Bring you before the damn tormentors. Now give us up the ghosts.
A lot of us will die without Wi-Fi. So imagine living in a time when they didn't even have all of the modern advances of society. The people who were living in Judea, those were a simple people. They were cool with being peasants. They wasn't worried about trying to blend in and connect with the modern world because they knew that the world around them was changing. So when we read here in the scriptures, this is them acknowledging we departed from that. Okay, we stepped away from
and trust me,
this covenant.
It did not do under the sun. They had in their era, they had things that was new and fresh and exciting, and they had to make choices. I mean, what's the most precious thing that you have is life.
That's right.
Right? Because you don't know. We can speculate, right? All we want. You know what I'm saying? But you still gonna have that fear of the end.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
The end. When you no longer here talking, walking, looking, seeing, your children here. And
can't
going,
smell, none of that.
All that stuff right there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We only know what we know through the scripts of the Most High and the spirit of faith.
That's right. That's right. I'm glad you
That
said
spirit of doubt pops in this style.
And it's over for you. You're on shaky ground at that
Right?
point.
So I'm saying you have to have a strong faith. The killer, the drug dealer murdered 10,000 people, and then when his day of reckoning cometh,
That boy
and
pissing
they
in his
his
boots.
behind up. Now he's screaming and hollering, "Oh God, oh Lord!" No, it's thy timings.
No.
Remember that movie back in the days? I think with Steven Seagal, one of the movies. He said, "Stop the blood clot crying! Everyone dies. It's your turn now."
Yeah. That was one of my favorite joints, man.
Classic statement, bro. Stop the bumper clot crying, man.
So we don't want to hear that whoop de whoop. You know, it's a lot of speculation about not keeping the Most High law. So are you saying that the Most High gave us license to do wickedness now? Because you're seeing what's happening with the folks who accepted this license to do wickedness. You see what's happening with them. You get what I'm saying? Look what's going on in the earth right now. You see our people afflicted because of choice. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Are you one of those that choose to be afflicted by choice? Let's read the scriptures. It says,
bring it up.
Verse 11.
Where we at?
No, we have verse 11.
Verse 11.
Yea, all Israel. All
Right now,
Israel.
some of them.
All Israel.
Oh, righteous brew.
No, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they may not obey thy voice.
So sit your over-righteous behind down.
We don't want to hear it.
All right? Don't act like you don't go off and you just the perfect brew or she brew. Sit down.
No, fringes
Stop
just
the
make
cap.
you look good. Nigga, what's your footwork like behind closed doors?
Head rat, boils of blue, the devil is all in you. Stop the capping, man. There's not a just man on the earth that doeth good and sin not. Head chop.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
Right, the curse. Some nigga gonna say we're not under the curse. It says all Israel.
All Israel?
All Israel is under the curse.
So you got to
I don't
prove
care
what you're talking about. You got to prove that, homie. You know who you are.
No,
You got to
not
prove that.
anybody on that.
That's what I'm saying. That's an anybody killer.
Whoever
Anybody
talk.
talking like that, you got to source that up. You can't just run off at the soup coolers and say no anything about your neck. You got to prove that. He say prove all things, right?
Therefore the curse is poured upon us. Who? All
Israel.
What we talking about?
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of YAHAWAH, because we have sinned against
Because
him.
we have what?
Because we sinned against
Israel
him.
sinned against them, man. So stop the capping, man. The scriptures say what it says, bro. You know what I'm saying? Baruch, what? That's Baruch 3 and 4, I believe it is. It says, ye are yet this day in captivity. Well, get that right quick. I think that's Baruch 3 and 4. Niggas acting like you not the curse. You not
Who is this guy?
a lot of these Israelites, man. It's a doctrine.
Yes, sir.
It's not singular. It's plural. It's anything to get away from the scripts. Baruch 3 and 4, maybe I said it wrong.
Let me see. O Yahweh Almighty, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children, which have sinned before thee, and have not hearkened unto the voice of you, our power, for the which cause these plagues cleave unto us. Yikes. Remember not the iniquities of our forefathers, but think upon thy power and thy name now at this time. For thou art the power, our power, and thee, O Yahweh, will we praise. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity.
And what? And what?
In our
We gonna praise the
captivity.
Most High in our who?
In our captivity.
These niggas gonna talk about we can't praise the Most High in captivity, though.
And yo, and please understand,
It's the Most High in captivity.
if you are saying that you cannot
crazy,
praise the Most High in captivity,
That's crazy.
you are spiritually illiterate.
That's
Because it says it
crazy.
clearly in multiple accounts, even in the book of Daniel. It shows 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 that literally was standing stiff in Babylonian captivity. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Read verse 1. Go to 1. Go to 1, bring it back down, Paul.
All right, we're in the book of Baruch, chapter 3, starting at verse 1.
Bring it up.
O Yahweh Almighty, the power of Israel.
Of who?
The power in Israel.
No, everybody.
No, the power of Israel.
Go ahead.
The soul in anguish, the troubled spirit, cries unto thee.
Go ahead.
Hear, O Yahweh, and have mercy, for you are merciful, and have pity upon us, because we have sinned before thee.
Israel has sinned.
Oh no, just you and me.
No, Israel has sinned.
Oh no, just Judah Mac. No, all of us.
Everybody sinned.
All of us. I don't care who you is. I'm gonna name names. You think you above the law? Test the waters. Anybody that think they're above this law, when it say all of Israel sinned, we all sinned.
We all sinned. Go ahead, read.
For thou endurest forever, and we perish utterly.
For thou endurest forever. His word, his law, his statute, his commandments. Right? And we've been perishing We have been in perish, right? Going through captivity, destruction, right? For centuries now, right? We are utterly destroyed. Go ahead.
O Yahweh Almighty, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites.
The Most High is talking about our people that have been suffering and that stood for the law of the Most High. We about to read in the book of Maccabees. Go ahead.
And of their children, which have sinned before thee, and not hearkened unto the voice of thee their power, for the which cause these plagues cleave unto us.
Well, I said these are the... Go ahead.
What is crazy?
Oh Lord Almighty, God, power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites, and of their children which have sinned before thee.
And not hearkened unto the voice of thee their power, for the which cause these plagues cleave unto us.
So those Israelites that was keeping the laws of the Most High is praying because they see the children of their children being wicked as hell. Their children is wicked, right? Go ahead.
Remember not the iniquities.
That thing kept making noise. Trying to pick it up, still making noise and noise like a cartoon.
Verse 5. Remember not.
Yes.
Remember.
That was cartoon standards right there. You try to stop it, you couldn't stop it. I just making more noise. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Remember not the iniquities of our forefathers.
Right.
But think upon thy power and thy name now at this time.
So we are saying don't remember the sins of our forefathers because we're trying to keep the laws. We're trying to show our righteousness with the Most High, man. Right? We don't want to be condemned based off the sins of our fathers. This is Lamentation 5. Right? Go ahead. I'm sorry, man. I messed you up with you, Dr. Pepper.
No, that's all good. We'll say. For thou art the master, our power, and thee, O Yahweh, will we praise. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity.
Praise him where?
Praise thee in our captivity.
Rehearse the righteous acts.
Praise thee in our captivity.
Right? How we praise the Most High? We have to rehearse the righteous acts, right?
Judges 5:11.
This not in just words, to love
but
not
indeed,
in word, but in what?
Indeed.
You did it.
Indeed.
Indeed, you have to show forth an action.
Yeah.
That's why the Most High give us feast days.
Action.
Right? Action. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. We may not be able to get a million dang cows and we're not doing blood sacrifices. HaMASHAYACH YAHAWASHI
was
did
the
away with
sacrifice.
that. He
it was
the
a rap.
sacrifice. So you cannot use that excuse.
Facts. That's
You
all.
cannot use it.
Might as well let that one collect dust. You can't use it.
Stop it. The priesthood is down. The HaMASHAYACH is the high priest. That's just that. He's the high priest, right? He became the ultimate sacrifice. So now we are in the rehearsal, right?
Of the
memorializing of his law.
That's right.
He is the word. So stop the sorcery and the madness.
Right.
Just say, I don't want to do it.
That's
That
it.
is that. Don't teach a doctrine. Don't tell nobody else not to do it. You don't do it. That's just that.
Just you don't do it.
You don't do it. I'm not going to teach a doctrine because I don't want to do something so I can then seduce everybody to go down to hell with me.
That's why I ain't tripping on Christians. We can't really trip on Christians. They know about the Torah, especially the ones that went to seminary school. They just don't want to do it.
That's it. I respect that.
They just don't want to do it. They cool
that.
with eating the pork, lobster, shrimp, wearing the fashions of the cultures and following the ways of the heathen. They know about the Torah. They just ain't finna follow it. It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's why you tell us don't cast your pearls before swine. It's a work. It's an exercise in futility, if you will. And that's why we shouldn't even engage. We have to engage because there's some that's still in there that need to be pulled out, and they got the Stockholm Syndrome. But ultimately, the goal is that if we got to tell you this and you have knowledge of it, then whatever destruction falls, it's because you made a choice not to follow it. You get what I'm saying? So we give all praises to the Most High for that.
7 again for the captivity excuselites.
Right.
1 Kings the 8th chapter. Stop it, man. We can go on and on and on. We were just reading about when Alexander came in to Israel, that Israel and Alexander made a covenant that will allow the children of Israel that was in Babylon.
That was where?
That was in Babylon.
Okay, captivity.
That was in Media, Persia and Medes.
Right.
And then when the Hellenistic, the Greeks came into power, they said, allow us to keep our law.
So they fought for what they believed in.
Come on, man. Like, stop the cat, bro. Like, let's not do this. What's wrong with you cooking some food and praising the Most High and celebrate with your family and your children? I don't get it. Go ahead, read that again.
Baruch chapter 3, verse 7. And for this cause, thou hast put thy fear in our hearts.
See, they don't have the fear in their hearts.
That's what it is.
They don't have no fear of the Most High. That's all it is. You're being an Israelite, right? And then the worst thing about it is you try to teach others to follow your rebellion.
Right.
That's rebellion. Go ahead.
To the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity.
Right, so we're going to praise the Most High in our captivity. Right? And how do we praise him? By doing the works. That's how you praise. How do you praise your parents? Not doing what they say? Making an excuse not to do what they say?
My mom and my daddy bought me a PlayStation 5. They so awesome. They so cool. Hey, man, I'm talking about, hey, man, I got a T-lady that make me rotate. My eyes, man, he made sure I got the fresh kick words on. So we supposed to be speaking on our Father and how awesome he is. Even in this right now, how awesome he is allowing us to assemble and Judges 5:11. Rehearse them rites and sacks. You know what I mean?
All day. Yeah.
For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee.
Right. That's why we can say that we're the children of Israel, because we connected the dots. I don't care what Stone say. I don't care what none of these anti-Hebrew Israelites got to say about us standing strong about our culture that been taken away from us, man.
That's right.
Right? That the nation has been hidden, trying to hide from us, from generation to generation. Right? Colossians 1:28. Right? 129, right? You see what I'm saying? We can go all over the Bible. Jeremiah, we can get a couple of these scriptures. Like, you feel me? Get that Colossians 1:29 or 1:28, even the mysteries.
No, it says, whom we preach, warning every man,
This
and
is
teaching every
Jeremiah
man
9.
in all wisdom.
Colossians, what is it, man? Bugging out.
It's 1:26.
What?
Even the
Colossians
mystery.
1:26. Thank you.
This is the book of Colossians chapter 1 and verse 26. Even the mystery which hath been hid from ages and from generations, but is now made manifest to his saints.
The saints of the children of Israel. Jeremiah 19:4 or 17:4, right? We should discontinue for our inheritance that the Lord gave us. Right? Why we can't have an inheritance? Why we can't have an identity? Why we can't have a history? Why we can't have nothing? Why? Why we gotta be finished?
This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the lands which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Forever, man. It's a forever captivity, man. Give me Psalms the 83rd chapter, the first verse.
What Colossians was that?
That was Colossians 1:26. That was Jeremiah 17:4. And Psalms the 83rd chapter. Like, come on, man. Baruch cuts Negroes' domes clean off. You know what I'm saying? That's being excusalites, man.
This is the book of Psalms chapter 83 and verse 4. They have said, come. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 1. This is the book of Psalm chapter 83, start at verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O YAHAWAH. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O YAHAWAH. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Your friends.
Thine enemies.
Your buddies.
Thine enemies.
They gave me a loan for a house.
Thine enemies.
They gave me a loan for some land.
Thine
They
enemies.
gave me a job.
Oh no, it says thine enemies right here. Thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the
The
head.
Bible says people hate you and hate the Lord. Read.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
United Nations talking about the hidden ones, right? The hidden ones, right? The hidden, you know what I'm saying? That goes to that Colossians 1:26. Even the mysteries that are hidden from ages and generations, right?
Right.
And now they talk about Psalms 83, the hidden ones. A confederacy is the United Nations. It's
That's
the
right.
League of Nations. That's what confederate means. Go ahead.
They have said, verse 4, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let's cut them off from being a nation, man. Let's just make them Democrats, Republicans, Negroes, Puerto Rican, Dominican, whatever surname, bywords, and all these different things that we have attached to us, man. Right? Go ahead.
Let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of the children of Israel, not Israelites, Israel shall be no more what?
Shall be no more in remembrance.
And remember, we're going to show examples of that during the Hellenistic period. Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Boom, that's the United Nations. Stop playing with me. Lead the nation. Go.
Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom.
Edom, that's the number one culprit right there. So if Edom is not the so-called European nation, then tell us who they are. Right? And then we got the Arabs, we got nowadays some people in Africa somewhere, some Malcolm X looking type people, like whatever. Whatever. I'm not even, let's get back to the scripts, man. That's ridiculous. I'm not even dealing with that. Alright, let's go back to Baruch 3. We in Baruch 3:7. It says, and for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts to the intent that we should call upon the name
and praise thee in our captivity.
In our captivity. I don't care what you saying, Negroes. Go ahead.
Behold, we have called to mind all the iniquity.
We have called, oh yeah, my bad.
For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before
That's
thee.
what we're doing.
Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
Where are we at today?
Wait. It says we're in our captivity.
When are we reading this, Millie?
Right now.
Right now. Today?
Today.
Today.
We're reading it today.
Everybody say today.
Today.
Everybody say today.
Loud. Louder. Say it again. Say it again.
Today, at this moment, as we speak, as you're watching this live, as you're listening in your homes, observing Shabbat, we are still
Or not.
in captivity.
Or not observing Shabbat. Behold, we are yet this day in captivity. Go ahead.
Behold, we are yet this day in captivity, where thou hast scattered us
Scattered us, dead.
for a reproach and a curse,
There go that curse again.
and to be subject to payment.
Subject to payment. Oh, you got to pay the mortgage, the rent, the light bill, cell phone bill, all kind of bill.
Welcome to Babylon.
Huh? Can you pay my bills? Pay the telephone bill.
According to all the iniquities of our fathers,
Yeah.
which departed from YAHAWAH our power.
Right. So if you don't think you in captivity,
You
then
smoking.
you should have no payments.
You
You should be
have-
subject to no payment.
Everybody,
If you
job,
got
no
payment
job,
for anything,
whatever's
Negro,
going on, you are subject
if
to.
you ain't on the level where you ain't got a bill,
You,
then you can say you not in captivity, Negro. But if you got one bill, don't ask in captivity.
That's just what it is. You done never bought a bag of chips, any of that. Payments. You know everybody like what they like. It costs money. You got to pay for that.
Because if you eating, then if you're not in captivity, you grow your own food. You have your own meat, right?
Ain't gotta pay for water.
You ain't got to pay for water. You got your own will.
Now let's clarify something.
You
though.
making your own clothes.
Baba Kasha, I
Right,
want to
your
make
wife
sure
is
we
up
clarify
there.
this. Israelites in Judea at that time, they traded with the other nations, but they had a limit to it because they couldn't keep up with the advancements of the economic trade. So they were cool with sticking with the old way of doing things. That set them apart from the other nations. When they started trying to align themselves to the other nations, that's when you see, that's what we're reading right here. This is why they're acknowledging their transgression. because they were trying to at some point align themselves with the cultures that were not of the Most High, the culture that was not given to them.
They just don't appreciate what they have. Just
That's
like
right.
children right now. They don't appreciate what they have. Children do it all day. Some children don't have, somebody must have hit that screen because it's not all the way to the top. That's all right. Children that don't have, that have both parents, they can't relate to a child that don't have both parents. And children who don't have both parents, right, they desire to have both parents. And when you have both parents, you can't understand or relate to not having both parents. So you take those parents for granted. When there's people that wish they had both parents, I had a dad in their life, right? So you don't appreciate it. See? When you have stuff, you really truly don't appreciate it, right? A child that's rich, he don't appreciate it.
He never had to eat no sugar sandwich.
He had to eat a mayonnaise sandwich.
Man, he never had to eat Vienna sausage.
He had to eat a ketchup sandwich.
Man, he ain't never had a wish sandwich.
Only ramen noodles.
Who had a wish sandwich? Show of hands. Y'all know what a wish
wish
sandwich is? That's where you eat 2 pieces of bread and wish you had something to put between it. Anybody? Show of hands. Well, you ain't never had no wish sandwich. Nah, but what my brother emphasizing is that there is a huge difference in having and not having. Israel had. They weren't grateful that the Most High provided for them. They wanted more. So that cost them the benefits of being up under the covenant of the Most High Yahawah. He was, no, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So why is it that you have to have other things like the other nations? Why is it that you want more than what I gave you? And I'll let my brother kind of expound on that one.
Friends, read the 9.
All right, we verse 9.
Back to,
All right.
what you going to get back to Maccabees? Go ahead.
All right, cool. Hear Israel the commandments of life.
Hear what?
Hear Israel the commandments of life.
Go ahead.
Give ear to understand wisdom. How happens it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead, that thou art counted with them that go down into the grave? Salaki. Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom. For if thou hadst walked in the way of Yahawah, thou should have dwelt in peace forever.
For how long?
Forever.
Forever, man. Read the whole book of Baruch, man. This book, Baruch, go hard body. All that captivity, excuse life stuff, getting sliced and diced with no problem. Back to Daniel 9, and we at 11, I believe it is. I think we're at 11. I think we're talking about yea or Israel have sinned. Right?
Yep. In the book of Daniel, we're at chapter 9, back at verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured on us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of Yahawah, because we have sinned against him.
So Stone on Clubhouse, the Bible says we are under the curse. I don't care what you're talking about, whoever with the false doctrines. Go ahead.
Verse 12, and he hath confirmed his words.
It's confirmed. Nobody cares what thou sayest. Go ahead.
Which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
A great what?
A great evil.
Go ahead.
For under the whole heaven hath not been done
What?
as hath been done upon Jerusalem.
For under the whole heaven have not been done, has been done upon Jerusalem. Read that final 13 verse.
As it is written in the law of Moses.
In the law of what?
In the law of Moses.
They don't want to deal with the law of Moses. Read.
Yikes. All this evil is come upon us.
See, that's why they don't know who they are, because they don't want to deal with the law of Moses, right? They say, that's the law of Moses. We're going to deal with the laws of Christ. Christ said he ain't came to bring forth his own word. The Lord did not come to destroy the law. All the prophets. Read.
As it is written in the law of Moses. All this evil is come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before Yahawah our power, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth.
Psalms 119, 142.
Yeah, man.
Key words. We get these key words and we go in the scriptures. What's up, Dr. Michael, man? Shalom to my brother, man. He got his doctorate degree, man. I'm trying to finish this master's, man, so I can join the club. You know what I'm saying? Doctor.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 142. Thy righteousness is in everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
Understand thy truth, which is his what?
His law.
Law. Is the what?
It's the law.
Is the what, though?
It's the
law is the
truth.
The truth.
Truth, y'all.
So I don't care what you're saying. I care what the Lord says.
That's right.
Verse 14 in James 9:14, he says what? Therefore have YAHAWAH washed upon the evil and brought it upon us. For YAHAWAH power is righteous in all his works which he doeth, for we obey not his voice. That's
So while we going back to Maccabees, that plainly put, for the people in the back, for the Greek speakers, you disobey your daddy, you get dealt with. Plainly put. It's clearly in the scriptures. You be hard-headed, you get chastised. You don't listen to me, you're being chastised.
You can look mean in the face, sad in the face.
You can do all the crying, sniggling, and boo-hooing and snotting. The Most High was killing whole families at that time and letting them fall to the sword because he wouldn't turn away from wickedness. Just plainly put. Plainly put. All right, we're back in the book of, what is that? Maccabees 2, and we're at verse 10. Right. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
Hey, read the Judges. Read the book of the Judges. Read the Assyrians when they came, Isaiah the 10th chapter. Read about Nebuchadnezzar. Read Daniel. Stop playing. Read the Maccabees. Read the New Testament with the Roman Empire. Specifically. And now about the United States of America. Okay?
So plainly put what's happening here. Imagine that, okay, we're here in America. Imagine if China came and ruled and took over, and then 40, 50 years later, American history is being taught through the eyes of Asian people. Wouldn't that be off? Wouldn't that be off? If that's exactly what's happening, our history was taught to us by people who only looked at it through their eyes. They didn't look at it through the eyes of Israelite men and women who the covenant was with in the first place. They decided to build a lie or a doctrine based off of what they viewed, which was the historical records.
The Renaissance period, right? The whitewashing, the rebirth of the European Empire. Let's not play these games, man. This is history. If you don't like history, too bad for you.
What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
Go ahead.
Verse 11. All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she is become a bond slave.
Mm-hmm. A bond slave. Our women slaves, read.
And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it.
The Gentiles. The Gentiles are profaned our temple, our people, everything. But they love. Go ahead.
And to what end, therefore, shall we live any longer?
Right, to the point like, why should we even live? We destroyed, man. We suffering, man. This is sad. Go ahead.
Then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned very sore.
So now, Matthias, Maccabees, the beginning, right? Seeing the suffering of our people, right? Seeing these heathens come into our land and try to make us profane and made us profane and destroyed us and started killing our people and destroying our temple and our holy things and having us blaspheme the Lord. A brother stood up during this time named Matthias Maccabees, right? Let's see what's really good, because it's bad. You look down because you stand up for the oppression of your people, right? You are ridiculed, right? When they say you shouldn't stand up for your people, basically. You are militant. You are black militant, Why I can't speak up for the injustice of my people? Why I can't say that's wrong? What are you talking about? What do you mean? So I'm supposed to just bow down and don't say nothing to nothing?
Because you'll get offended, or because you butthurt. You don't like what's being said.
I mean, if I was the ruling power, I would say that sorcery too to the servants.
Right.
And bring forth that indoctrination that you're supposed to accept me destroying you and smacking you and bullying you and doing everything I want to do to you. Of course I would. I mean, that's reality.
Because that's what
from
happened.
that perspective.
Right. The Most High allowed for us to get deboed by the other nations, and we saw them thumbing in defiance against and said, listen, this is what you're going to do or die. At this time, we see in Mattathias and his sons, they vexed by what they knew was coming to their residence. And so they were stressed because they were seeing their people have to be subject to these conditions. Verse 15, in the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city Modin to make them sacrifice. So they came into the city to force them to partake in pagan ritual and customs. All right.
So they send in their police officers.
There you go. There you go.
The front line. Go ahead.
In verse 16, and when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers, and said to Mattathias on this wise, Thou art a ruler, an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren.
So they send their representative, right, of the government, right, to say, hey, this is a great man. He's looked up to by the people. Let's bargain with him, right, to get him to be in league with us so he can seduce the people, right? That's what they do. They find whoever that's in leadership in our community, and they entice them to join league with them and promise them what? Riches, wealth, like we read about last time.
You know, the level up. You know
I'm
what I
gonna level you up. I'm gonna send you a letter and say sign this within 3 days, right? Because we're waiting for you, right? We already know who you are. You ain't gonna have to worry about money, this, that, and the third, and the whole nine. Right. Just sign on the dotted line.
And all is well.
And all is well.
I'm trying to tell you. But that's how they work. Because they know that if we know who our help is, then trusting them then gives allegiance to them. If you notice, they had their way of doing things. This was given to them by the Most High. They followed ancient law. It was a set apart law. It wasn't no need to go and do anything new or different, because that would be in rejection to the old way. You get what I'm saying? So here you got this ruler, this honorable man, a great man in his city, strengthened with sons and brethren, right? And they swarmed this man, the king's officers did. In verse 18 it says, Now therefore come thou first, and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done.
Right, so they already got all the surrounding nations to bow down to their customs.
That's right.
To their laws.
Right.
So they come to you and say, man, hey, everybody else done bow. Everybody else conform. You a great man, you a leader of the people that look up to you. Right? You a high priest.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make you even a greater man, but you're going to have to follow what we're talking about.
That's right.
Right? Seduce the words. Okay? And we're going to take care of you and your son.
Right. And that's what they do even to this day. They give us sellout spokespersons. And even within Israel today, you will see
sellout spokespersons.
Is what it is. A lot of Israelites
take the shot.
It's a lot of Israelites that are sellout.
How you do that?
How? If you know that he ain't never adapted no other way of doing things, how do you do it? Make it make sense. Mims, make it make sense. That's all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. And so you got this great honorable man who already got power and influence amongst his people. He don't need your influence. He's not looking to be lifted up or be esteemed as a high value dude like that, because keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments, that's what gives you value. That's the thing that gives you value. It says, then answered the king's officers, and said to Mattathias on his wise, thou art a ruler, and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done. Yea, and the men of Judah also. So you got the heathen who did it, and then you have the men of Judah, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. So there, you know, they try to incentivize this house of Mattathias by offering them silver and gold and putting them in the number of the king's friends, right? But look what Mattathias do. If you've read this story before, you know this is a beautiful story because this shows that even in the face of adversity, in the face of imprisonment, even in the face of death, there are people who stood stiff for the Most High Yahawah. 2nd Esdras 42 verse 47. Verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments.
So look at that. Yeah, he's talking about, all these other nations can forget their religion, their customs, their practice, their laws. Right? That's fine. Okay? And give consent to your commandments, right? We're supposed to keep the commandments of the Lord, not the commandments of the oppressor,
right,
or the conqueror. Right? If they're going against our law, then we are not to keep it.
That's right.
Where do we get that from? We don't keep laws that's anti-Yahawah. Go ahead.
Verse 22. No, I'm sorry. We're in verse 20, Salaki. Let me start from 19 again. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him, and fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
Look at that.
We're
going to keep the covenant of our fathers. We don't care what you talking about, buddy.
Acts 5:29. He said, hey, listen, we rather obey Yahweh than man. So
right.
This is yet another reiteration of Acts 5:29, which is saying, listen, we're going to stand stiff on the word of Yahweh. We don't care what y'all got going on. We don't care if you ain't rocking with it. We're not doing it.
Joshua said, for me and my household,
we're going to serve Yahweh, baby.
We're going to serve the Most High.
That's
bro.
it.
Go ahead.
Verse 22. We will not hearken to the king's words.
You're on 21.
Oh, okay. Verse 21. Salakia. Yahweh forbid that we forsake the law and the ordinances.
What the Lord said?
Yahweh forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
So the Shabbat is the law. That's the law. The feast days are laws.
That's what it is.
Right? The dietary menu are laws. The moral laws are law. Everything in the first five books are law. That's the Torah. That's where we find the do's and the don'ts. Right? In Pacific of law. Right? And then we have all the wisdom books and all these different things. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know where you Negroes coming with your doctrine. We're talking about people that have been Hellenized and being killed and persecuted in captivity.
So stop the cap. We're in captivity. Stop the cap.
Stop. Stop it. Read.
Verse 22. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
So, brothers and sisters, we don't have to deny that we have our own religion. Our religion is the law, statute, commandments of the Most High.
Let's say everybody say our religion.
Our religion.
Everybody say it. Our religion.
Our religion.
All right, so
y'all know, but when y'all playing the video games, y'all loud, talking to the people on the game and everything. Well, let me have to shut down the game now. All I gotta do is turn off the Wi-Fi and you finish. It can be turned off for you, but not for me.
Now watch this. This is just before we get back into the word. What is the point of us learning all this? Anybody?
To know our history.
That's one good answer.
Right.
But what's another one?
While we celebrate the feast.
No. No.
Okay.
Another reason why we learn this is so that we return to the Most High. He say, whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. We to learn this thing to return to the Most High. What's the use of returning to it or learning it if you're not going to exercise what you're learning?
What you just quote?
Psalm 78 and 1. Read that right quick.
Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 1. What I quoted was Romans chapter 15, verse 4. Romans 78 and
Psalm 78 and 1.
This is the book of Psalm chapter 78 and verse 1. Give ear, O my people, to my law.
To my what?
To my law.
To who?
To my law.
The Bible says, oh, give ear, O my people. Who is his people? We're going to find out. But we know who his people is. To my what?
To my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth.
The words in the Bible. Go ahead.
I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old.
Yeah.
We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come.
Where you at? You skipping verses, bro.
Oh, okay.
Read verse
Sloppy.
2.
I will
Pull it
open.
up over there.
I will
got
open.
tabs right there.
I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us.
Who told them?
Our fathers have told
Our
us.
fathers told us, so we supposed to tell. Right? We are tattletellers. Negro, you eating pork chops, Negro. I'm telling. Our father said you're supposed to eat the pork chop and a honey ham glazed with the pineapples and soaked in the Coca-Cola, brother. I'm telling on ours. Right? You're teaching the doctrine. And now I'll tell you personally, if I see you, hey, bro, you're not supposed to eat pork. I don't got to go out there and make a video about you as an individual. I'm going to make a video about you if you're trying to make a damn doctrine and teach everybody else to do it.
Right.
Now we're going to have an issue.
Yep.
Because now you're trying to bring this to a light to all the people and make stumbling blocks for Israel. Now we's going to have a problem. See? Whatever you doing as an individual that you struggling with, that's flowers. The Most High told you, Ecclesiastes 12:12, every secret thing that man do, he going to judge him about it. He going to deal with it.
So that means for those that didn't catch that, you're under surveillance 24/7.
Right.
Constant surveillance.
So, I mean, let's not play the game. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us.
Go ahead.
We will not hide them from their children.
We're not hiding from our children. We have to teach you. Go ahead.
Showing to the generation to come the praises of YAHAWAH and his strength and his wonderful works that he hath done.
Go ahead.
For he established a testimony in Jacob.
And who?
In Jacob.
No, everybody.
No, in Jacob.
The whole world.
Just in Jacob.
Just to Jacob. Understand these scriptures. We can read Mills.
Yeah.
And it says Jacob. Jacob is Israel. Go ahead.
And appointed a law in
Then
Israel.
it come right back and say appointed a law in Israel.
That's a double cut. That's just a double cut.
Where's the law for everybody else? Go ahead.
Which he commanded our fathers.
Our fathers. Go ahead.
That they should make them known to their children.
That they should make them known to their children, which are what? Israelites.
That the generation to come might know them. Even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their
Your
children.
grandchildren.
That they might set their hope in YAHAWAH.
Yeah, they hope in the Most High and what?
And not forget the works of
And
YAHAWAH.
not forget the works, the praise, rehearse the righteous acts, and the victories, the triumphs, and everything the Lord did for Israel, right? To bring us as his people, right? And then told us to memorialize those events, right? It's all connected. You can't disconnect nothing. Go ahead.
That they might set their hope in YAHAWAH and not forget the works of Yahweh, but keep his commandments.
But what?
But keep his commandments.
But keep his commandments.
You got to keep the commandments,
You gotta keep
baby.
the commandments. You can't say, no one knows. We're not doing it. Captivity excuse alike.
That's the catchphrase for the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding.
Go ahead. That's what it is.
Verse 8. And might not be as their fathers.
See, you trying to be rebellious as our forefathers. The reason why we up under the curse and in captivity because of the sins of our fathers and mothers. Read.
A stubborn and rebellious generation.
Stubborn and rebellious, man. That's all it is. That's what it comes down to. Right?
A generation that set not their hearts aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with Yahweh. That was not steadfast with Yahweh.
Not steadfast, man. You're not steadfast. You're not enduring. You're going off. That's just what it is, man. Like, that's just what it is. Okay? Let's go back to Maccabees.
We're in the book of 1 Maccabees.
So we have our own religion. It's the commandments of the Lord in the Bible. Go ahead.
We're in the book of 1 Maccabees, and we're at the 23rd verse. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modim, according to the king's commandment.
Now here's some simple Negro, that's going to walk up there. I'm going to keep the commandments of the king. Right? Simple Negro with the honey glazed ham, soaked in Coca-Cola, with the pineapple on top.
Popping firecrackers.
Right? Talking mad proud. Right? Like he in the spirit, the law of liberty, Negro.
I'm gonna do this sacrifice.
You can do whatever thou wantest under the law of liberty. Do as thou wantest. Sound like the doctrine of the devil. It is. Go ahead. Simple one. Go ahead.
Now when he left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modim, according to the king's commandment. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal.
He was inflamed with zeal.
The country folks in the south say he was hot as fish grease. He was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled.
The man was trembling like, you know, you get so mad, you see, boy, you trembling. You trying to hold it, but you can't. You about to explode.
Oh, you want to take flight on a nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
It says, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment.
He couldn't hold it. I'm about to finish this. Go ahead.
Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
Slew him and the honey ham glaze soaked in the Coca-Cola with the pineapple worlds and everybody that was there. Let's go. Slew him upon the altar.
Also,
in captivity.
Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down.
Took him up out of there. You coming over here representing the king with your dynamic doctrines? Shalom is thou. You up out of here too, buddy. Right along with this Jew. My brother, I'm finishing him and you. Go ahead.
Thus he dealt zealously for the law of Yahweh, like as Phineas did unto Zambri, the son of Salom.
So he was zealous for the law of the Most High and slew him. Just like Phinehas, when you read about that in, I think it's in Numbers or somewhere like that. Right? But go ahead.
Verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whoever is zealous of the law.
Say it again.
Whoever is zealous of the law.
Yeah.
And maintains the covenant, let him follow me.
Made a proclamation. Let him follow me, which he's following who? The Most High, like Paul said, be ye followers of me, as I'm a follower of the MASHAYACH, right?
You bought this law?
You bought these laws?
You keep this covenant?
You bought these Shabbat feast days?
Let's go turn this corner.
Laws?
Because that's the line in the sand. You got to pick a side. You can't straddle the fence. That's how you get blisters in your tank. You can't straddle the fence. You got to pick a side.
No lukewarm.
If you ever took a bath in warm water, you gonna be mad because it's not hot enough or it's not cold enough. The Most High don't want no fence straddlers. You got to pick a side, baby. That's just what it is. So Mattathias is getting real crunk right now, and he letting everybody in the city know what time it is. So that means if you maintain the law, or you maintain the covenant, and you zealous of the law, everybody who was about that, they follow Mattathias. So now verse 28 says, so he and his sons fled into the mountains, and left all that they ever had in the city.
To keep the law. Not to forsake the law in the mountains.
But to keep it.
To keep the words.
Now how many Israelites, and I'm talking to the ones that's watching and listening, how many of you are going to be willing at that time to leave every bit of modern convenience and comfort to head into the mountains if that's what this calls for?
Or now.
Even
or
right now.
Facts.
Because he say, pray that your flight be not in winter or on the Shabbat. How many of us are going to really be built like that to go in extreme these conditions if we get pushed out?
Down in the mountains.
And they willingly there.
So if you're in the mountains to get away from the cities and the all the pressures of evil and offness, I'm trying to get the right word.
Right.
How you in the mountains and saying you ain't keeping no laws? Like
You still got to keep the mountains. You still got to keep
what
them
are
on the
you in
mountains.
the mountains for? Why is you there?
It ain't no need to be all grid to still say no one knows.
What are you not? What are you doing?
It makes no sense. Like how you off grid and still saying nobody knows.
Just set apart communities and all of that. Like what we doing, bro?
Yeah, that's all.
Come on, man. We're reading Matthias and say he fled into the mountains. I mean, I'm just reading what the scriptures say. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. So if you're leaving the city to go into the mountains, into the wilderness, then I expect this thou to keep the law. I mean, what we doing?
Verse 29. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
Right, so now those that's for the law, they will follow us thouist because they're about these laws. Right? You see what I'm saying? Let's not play the game, man. We're reading to the laws and testimony. They speak not according to this word. There is no light in them. Isaiah 8 and 20, Romans 15 and 4. Mm-hmm. The things are written aforetime are written for our learning.
That's what it is.
Come on.
Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increase sore upon them.
So they're being persecuted to keep our religion. They keep our laws, our statutes, our commandments. Go ahead.
Now when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into the secret places of the wilderness, they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day.
On the what day?
On the Sabbath day.
On the Sabbath day. I don't know what's going on. On the Sabbath day. Let me get back to my thing. On the Sabbath day. On the Sabbath day. And on the Sabbath day. They warred against our people on the Sabbath day for a particular reason. Right? They knew the Sabbath day during the Hellenistic period. They knew the Sabbath day during the Babylonian, Assyrian, Persian, Mede, right? Mm-hmm. Roman, Greek, right? All of a sudden now, nobody knows what the Sabbath is. Like, stop playing. Okay, pick a day.
Just any day. Just any day. Monday to the Wednesday, the 30, which one is it? Nobody knows.
Pick a day. Just pick a day.
Just make your mind up already.
Okay? On the Sabbath day. Let's find out why they raised war on our people on the Sabbath day. Read.
Verse 33. And they said unto them, let that which ye have done hitherto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live.
So now they got them surrounded, right? They outnumbered them. Now they say, all right, we're going to give you a mercy. We're going to give you an opportunity to keep our law, to keep the king's commandment. Now they have an opportunity to live or an opportunity to die. What choice are they going to make? What do you think they're going to make? What choice do you think they're going to make, Lamar? Live or die? They got them surrounded, right? They already revolted, right? They encamped around them in the mountains. And so they say, okay, we got you surrounded. Are you going to keep the king's commandment or are you going to keep your religion? What do you think they're going to choose? What would you choose if you was there?
Live or die.
Live or die. That's it. Simple.
And you got a couple seconds.
Live or die. You ain't got time to be sitting here and think you about to put that sword across your head.
You got a whole army outside the gate right now.
You
got a whole army outside the gate right now. Death is certain.
Be honest.
I am.
What you say you'll do?
And why would you
probably
probably die?
Because there's no other way out of this situation.
There is another way. You can choose to
live and worship
you can actually do the king's commandments.
Or you keep the commandments of your fathers and your people.
And die on that.
And die on it.
Because that's what we all going to have to face one day.
You're going to die now. We all going to die. But you can die earlier by saying, I'm going to keep God's commandments, or I'm going to live longer and keep the heathen's commandments.
I'll die earlier.
Now, y'all got to understand what come with that.
Come on. What you going to do, Junior? What's the choice? You there with you and Fathead over there? Y'all ran. You follow Uncle Eminon and me, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, why you followed us into the wilderness? Now they done surpassed us. They giving everybody an opportunity to keep the commandments of the Gentiles or God's commandment.
Nah, you.
No. You die if you keep the commandments. You live if you keep His commandment. King's commandment. He said he goes live as long as you.
So that's why I gotta. So that's why we got to help them understand. That's the part that we need to understand. Keeping the king's commandment is a spiritual death sentence.
Right.
Keeping the Most High commandments is a spiritual life sentence.
Right.
If you keep the king's commandments, you live right now, but you die forever.
Hold on. Let's see. You trying to retract the statement? I'm going to die. You going to die? Yeah.
Everybody say that. Choose what? Life or death?
Become a life or death. The king, life or death. Either you going to keep God's commandments, which your Abba teaching you, or you going to follow the commandments of the King of America, their Lord, Satan. Which one you going to choose? Life or death? The Most High Lord. What you going to do, Janai?
The Most High Law?
Mills?
I'm down. Because I know that he who I know
endures to the end. No.
He who finds who seeks his life will lose it, but he who will lose
his life
for my sake
will find it. I like how you said I like that.
He got to lose his life for my sake.
The same
shall find his life.
That's right.
Right?
So these
who
people
that save his life shall lose his life.
So
right? Because there's an afterlife. Go ahead.
So these people were willing to rather lose their lives.
Well, we don't know yet.
Of the Most
we
High.
don't know yet. We don't know yet.
Well, I mean, in the sense of Mattathias, those men, right?
But they was,
But what about other Israelites?
What about other people?
Right.
That followed them.
Right.
Right. Let's see what the other people who followed them, because people will follow you for a moment. Yeah, come down, Sharala. I'm a part of this camp, congregating school, Israelite, until the persecution comes. Right.
Then you got to change the
then all
tone.
of a sudden now you're a switcher brew. You're going to be a switcher brew. Go ahead.
Verse 33. And they said unto them that which ye have done hitherto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live.
And ye shall live. Go ahead.
But they said, we will not come forth.
What they said?
We will not come forth.
So they was about it. They was about it. Right? They was about it. We not coming forth, man. Praise those brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
We will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day.
To profane the Sabbath day. No. We're not coming down here to follow your laws. We're not breaking the Shabbat because of you. None of that. And this is when it's on the line.
This is it, y'all.
This is when the Most High is opening the books and seeing and testing you in the moment of life and death choice. What did my son or what did my daughter do?
Right. Right.
See, you got to put yourself in that arena. Because when it's at leisure, you can mess up on the Shabbat day, right? But, you know, there's not a just man on earth that doeth good and sin not, right? Right? All have sinned and fall short of the glory of the Most High, right? If you say you have not sinned, 1 John, right? You are lying and the truth is not in you. But now when the Most High puts you to the test, and this test is a life and death, what are you going to do then?
What you gonna do?
What am I going to do? What him and I going to do? What are you going to do? We can sit there, plumb your and everything.
It sounds good till you get put to that test, though. You know what I'm talking about?
Right? You see what I'm saying? And some people, it's not even, they can't even get to the test. They already gave up. They already quit. Go ahead.
But they said, we will not come forth, verse 34. Neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed.
We went to war. It was on and popping. Go ahead.
Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid.
So these particular brothers and sisters didn't even fight back. Because we wasn't supposed to make war on the Shabbat or do any work on the Shabbat. It's a holy set apart day. That's how Israel was so in tune with the Most High that they didn't even fight back. Let's read.
This group was, and I'm going to just put in a side note. This group was known as the Hasidim, right? And so you got the Revelation 2:9, which is the identity thieves, who took the Hasidim movement and then developed it from something European and then turned it into something that they call now the Hasidic Jews. And the Hasidic Jews took the Hasidim and what they did in this act here that we reading, and they're trying to parallel themselves to say they are those descendants, which is a lie. Okay, Revelations 2:9, those identity thieves. They try to steal this event and say that these are their ancestors. Okay, so we have to understand that, right? It says, verse 37, but they said, let us die all in our innocency. Heaven and earth will testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully.
See that? Right? This is what you said. That I let heaven and earth testify for us that you put us to death wrongfully. And you have no honor. You know this is our Shabbat day. Why are you attacking us on the Shabbat?
Now I want to ask a question. Does this sound like these were people who were afraid to die? As y'all listen to this story, you got to understand there's going to be a very strong contrast. It's people in Israel who were willing to keep the commandments of the king and live, and those who were willing to keep the commandments of the true king and die.
Because they feared the true king. It has to be in you. This has to be in you. You see what I'm saying? For even when you look at Arab, one of the extremists, right? That are pack C4 on them and go sacrifice themselves for their God in hopes that they will receive heavenly blessing or 7 wives,
70 virgins when they make it to heaven.
Whatever it is. And they go open that, they press that button and explode themselves. They have to truly believe in their religion to do that. See? So we could learn from that. Whether we want to disagree with their religious principles or what they worship, they believe that. And they're willing to die for it.
That's right.
Right? They're willing to die for it. Right? It's like somebody that fights for a country and sacrifice and go to war. They have to have a mentality that they love their country that much that they'll sacrifice their life. Right? That's presenting your body as a living sacrifice. People do it every day. Right? You see what I'm saying? Whether you gang bang and you believe in being a gang banger and you took the oaths and vows. Right? And they said, we about to run up on these dudes, we about to slide or whatever. You have to believe in that. You see what I'm saying? That you're willing to give your life for it. You see what I'm saying? The same thing.
Police department, all of that. All of that repressive
Fire
organization.
department, man, knowing he's going into the fire. He has to believe that it has to be something that motivates him to do that.
He took an oath to risk his life. When we decided to keep the commandments of the Most High and we said that we would agree to this covenant, this was us saying that we would be willing to risk our lives, that we would be willing to take into account that we live in a world system that does not follow the Most High, and that at some point, not only are they going to try to cut us off from being a nation, but they're going to try to wipe us out. You know what I mean? And that's what Antiochus did at that time. He put in place things that was to the detriment of Israelite men and women. And so you're seeing Israelite men and women who were, at the time, the Hasidim. These people were willing to die rather than keep the commandments of the Most High, and said that they're going to die in innocency. Order, y'all. Order.
They rather die than not keep the commandments of the Most High.
That's right.
They want to keep the commandments of the Most High.
They said heaven and earth will testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully. Verse 38. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle, to the number of 1,000 people.
So they killed 1,000 brothers and sisters on the Sabbath day.
Right.
That didn't fight back. How weak can you be? This murder. That's murder. Right? Because you want to force these people to renounce their law and keep your law. This is what the Gentiles was doing to the children of Israel. Strangers. Regardless of who you want to make it, who it is. If you're talking about the children of Israel, the Lord said he's going to pay back all those that have oppressed them.
That's right.
Whoever you want to not say they are, but whoever they are, all the nations that oppress the children of Israel, they're going to pay.
That's clapback.
They're going to pay.
That's what it is, man.
So if you don't want to be an Israelite, you're going to pay. That's just that. How about that?
If you killed an Israelite, you're gonna pay. But it say he that put it to death with the sword must be put to death with the sword. It's clapback.
If you're of a nation, you're going to pay because you're part of the nation. Doesn't matter. The Egyptians all got destroyed.
Because you hear Edomites all the time saying,
matter.
that wasn't me. I wasn't in slavery. But it says your fathers are going to pay that ticket. You're going to pay for what your daddy did.
Let's just deal with reality, man. Like when Israelites was going to war, they was fighting all type of nations in the wilderness. When the European came to America, they warred against the people in America.
That's right.
And they murdered and killed people in the islands of America, Central, South, North America. Let's just stop the game, man. When a nation rises up for conquering or conquest to take over land, expand themselves, you're going to fall to the sword.
That's it.
And those that remain become servants.
That's it.
And tributaries.
That's
just what it is. The strong survive. Come on, man. It's real life. Look at the animal kingdom. You see the animals eating another animal, and people on Facebook, ooh,
That's the law.
why he
It's
filming
either
it?
get
Why
out.
he won't go help? I'm going to jump out my car to go help the damn
I'm gonna
animal
go
getting
break
ate
up
by the lion?
I'm not breaking up no fight between a predator and prey.
What kind of madness this person on? I'm going to jump out there to stop the
I'm gonna
lion.
fight this jaguar from eating this goat.
No. Stop, man. It's just war. Really, reality, man.
Verse 37, but they said, let us die in all in our innocency. Heaven and earth will testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully.
Go ahead.
So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle to the number of 1,000 people.
Go ahead.
Verse 39. Now when Mattathias and his friends understood thereof, they mourned for them right sore. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth.
Now, I'm not trying to be disrespectful for the sacrifice of our brothers and sisters, right? But today I will call them the over-righteous bulls.
That's right.
Be not over-righteous. Why destroy thyself?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with defending yourself, especially from the enemy. So Matthias and them wasn't going out like that. We ain't going out like that. We not going out like that. We ain't going out like that. Sorry. They're not going to use our Shabbat, our law, against us so they can have the cheat code to kill us. Hey, man, you know they don't fight on the Shabbat, right?
Right.
So you know what? We can get them then.
That's what they did.
They're going to lay down their swords.
Right.
And we can just take advantage and kill them.
But they messed up and they oversighted. Not every Israelite was on that kind of time. There was a pocket of resistance within the ranks that was saying, hell no, I wish a nigga would. We gonna show you what time it is, and we gonna do it by keeping the laws of the Most High, because he said keep the commandments and live. He didn't say keep the commandments and die. So why should I have to be in fear of keeping the laws of the Most High while in captivity, even if I know death is certain? That's ludicrous.
Woo, that was hard-bodied, boy.
We don't gotta be scared.
Chop.
We don't gotta bow to the other nations and keep no commandments if the Most High goes before us. Everybody, let me hear y'all say, we don't bow.
We don't bow.
Say it like you mean it. We don't bow.
We don't bow.
I ain't said scream. I ain't said scream.
Say it like you mean it. Because this is what it's called on. See, we saying it and it sound good. These people were in the throes of death. Huh? If this didn't take place, Messiah's ministry could not have come to fruition like we expected it to.
There would be no Maccabee revolt. We would be reading about a Maccabean revolt.
Because we just read it. They was about to quickly root us out of the earth. That means no Jews, no Judah, no HaMASHAYACH. I don't know. See, when we read the book of Maccabees, every time the Feast of Dedication come around, we need to be looking at this to learn something new from it every time. Because there's more history in this than what we read on. When you start reading it and you really get a sense of this better help you understand something. These people worked hard to uproot you from your heritage. And they know you ain't going to do nothing about it, because all they can do is incentivize you to believe that you niggas. Work for the system. Learn our culture. If you go against that, you a pariah, and we going to have your own people turn on you. We don't have to kill you. But they'll kill you, because you see here, that's what happened. But we going to read some other stuff in the story too. Y'all going to find out some stuff in this story that's really, really crazy. Because our people, as much as we have those that are truly for the Most High, you got some sellout niggas in Israel that'll turn on you at the drop of a hat. That's why he say, don't trust no man. Don't do it.
Even outside of our Hebrew Israelite awakening, you have Malcolm X.
Yep.
That went against the system. You have Martin Luther King that woke up and said, I invited my people to a burning house. Start speaking against the system.
Right.
You had the Black Panther Party speaking against the system. You have Angela Davis speaking against the system. You have mad black men and women during the 60s and 70s, during the civil rights movement, rebelling against the system.
Fred Hampton, Assata Shakur, Bobby Seale, Huey Newton, and the list goes on. Medgar Evers, there's countless of our brothers and sisters, but they all have something in common.
They want to separate themselves from the system. That's just that. But the separation have to come with these laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. That's where they failed at. And this is what we're trying to teach our people.
That's right.
We're not dealing with incorporating with the system through Christianity. Okay? Go ahead, read.
And one of them said to another, if we all do as, we're in verse 40. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth.
See, we're fighting not only for our lives, the key thing, and fight not for our lives and laws. See? Because they was fighting for their lives only. They were to follow the King's commandment. Go.
At that time, therefore they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all, as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places.
Right, so we're not doing that. We fighting.
It's up.
That's just that. 42.
Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law.
Now you got another set of brothers that joined the Maccabees, that was keeping the law, not being Israelites. Right? Go ahead.
Also all they that fled from persecution joined themselves unto them and were a stay unto them.
So now, see, we got all these different camps, congregations, schools, and assemblies. But if the Most High turn the spirit and bring these same decrees now, here and now, to all you so-called Hebrew Israelites in your school, your sects, your congregation, your separation divisions, and they bring forth these decrees, all that division is going to end.
It's a wrap.
Those that's going to stand for the law, they're going to come together.
And
your little doctrines of the earth is flat or not, or
that ain't gonna matter.
Birth, or
you know,
Ruth was an Israelite or not, or
it's not gonna
you
matter.
know, all these little simplicity damn doctrines of division, right? Polygyny or monogamy, that ain't gonna matter to anybody,
right? Nope.
It ain't gonna matter. You can have all your videos or all your little doctrines. It's not going to. Either you gonna sell out or you gonna stand for the Most High Lord. That's just that.
And this have to be a beautiful thing that we looking at right here, to see all these men join forces.
Right.
They gather together. And, oh look, now it ain't 12 of us. It's 100 of us. It's 700 of us. It's 1,000 of us. So now we understand that there's strength and power in numbers. So it says in verse 44 that they joined their forces and they smote sinful men.
Who?
They smote sinful men in their anger.
The judgment got to start with us. So when they came together to keep these laws, statutes, commandments, all of the lawless brothers and the new covenant brothers, if you don't got to keep no commandments, no laws, show woman's thou. Show woman's thou. Don't try to say, I ain't nothing to do covenant. I know you can keep the Lord down, bro. I saw your video last night. Headshot.
Had that.
No, brother.
That boy had two hams just backstroking in coach.
Oh, you had the hand. You get two
What
hands in
it
the hand. You said the day of the Lord.
Michael Phelps in the coach.
I repented yesterday. I know. Shut up.
But I was under the law of liberty, brother.
You got all the classes out there. Going against the law, buddy. It's a rap for that. Can you stay away from the lights? Y'all walk in Kakama. Watch. Make sure you don't hit my light. Sit down. Why y'all doing all this extra moving around?
So these men were clicked up. And they were sliding on the sinful men. And the wicked men. They were hot. Hot as fish grease.
So they joined forces and smite sinful men in their anger and wicked men in their wrath, but the rest fled to the heathen for safety.
And wouldn't you look at that? They ran to the same niggas who was oppressing them. And isn't that just like our people? The minute that it's up, you go run to the people who oppress you to get protection from the niggas you started mess with. Isn't that interesting? The sun been the same sun since the beginning of time. Ain't nothing new upon it. Our people are a trip, man.
Our people love this society and their law. That's just that. So now, the most I put the spirit on these brothers to rise up and take out the damn treacherous niggas, people of our nation. And it was off with your heads. Go ahead.
And you see the rest of them, they went and they went to try to find a safe haven amongst the heathen. Verse 45 says, then Mattathias and his friends went round about and pulled down the altars. And that's what we supposed to be doing in this right now. We really supposed to be burning these images, pulling down these altars, cutting up these altars, cutting up these grave images. This is what we supposed to be doing. This is what they were doing. They were going around about and pulling down the altars.
And that's what we're doing when we out there teaching the word. We're pulling out the altar because it's spiritual. Right? It's spiritual. Nobody just going to a statue for real, just bowing down to the statues.
No.
Where they do that at? I don't see them. But you do have some people going to the Roman Catholic Church and they bow down before the white Jesus or Mary and all that
Make
stuff
the
like that.
crucifix and all of that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, you have to get her out of there. She's making too much noise. Get her. Go get her. Go get her. Right? And what children, so we have to get these philosophies and doctrines out of their minds. So when we are here teaching this word, people are upset and mad that we're teaching our people to repent and come back to the Lord. Right? And say we shouldn't be teaching the law of Moses. Which Moses ain't had no law. He was given the law.
Facts.
Only law that I can show in the Bible where Moses gave was Deuteronomy 24. Based on what the Messiah said, Moses gave you the bill of divorce. Moses, that's the only law I can see, and I can justify that Moses himself instituted in the nation of Israel because the Messiah said it. So all other laws was given by the Most High directly. The Most High allowed Moses as a leader, as the MASHAYACH figure then, to make these statements. It's like YAHAWASHI said, right? Even if you look at a wife, because it's not a woman, right? It's wife. Shout out to Judah the Shooter, right? And you can read old translations like the Matthew Bible, like the Tinsdale, which I have, that says wife. Whosoever looketh at a wife and lusteth after her have committed adultery already in his heart.
You know what OPP?
Right? So the Messiah said that in the spirit, said, because why? It all begins in the mind anyway.
That's it.
Everything you do begins in the thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, that's powerful, man. That's definitely powerful. And then it talks about how as they was pulling down the altars, verse 46, and what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly.
Right. So therefore, right, that's the law that was given to Abraham, right, and to all his descendants, right, to circumcise your children on the 8th day, right. So even if we ain't circumcised on the 8th day, they went and found children that was not circumcised,
cut them
on
anyway.
the 8th day, and circumcised them to keep the law.
That's it.
To keep the law. They was in captivity, right? They was Hellenized. So they said, hey, these children wasn't circumcised. Let's
We're going
circumcise.
to chop them anyway. So this is always, it always has been,
We in captivity,
always
brother.
will be,
We in captivity, don't cut
about
my
keeping
words.
the Most High's laws, whether you in captivity or in the land of your
Don't
fathers.
cut my word.
Hey man, listen.
We in captivity, brother. Rather than telling Matthias and them, don't cut my foreskin off. We in captivity, brother. You want me to cut thy foreskins or thy head? Which one thou wantest? But but these people was for the law. So they said, yes, I need to get circumcised. You can get circumcised at any age. Ask Shechem and them. When Simeon and Levi, Jacob told them, you know, circumcised, and then thou can be a part of my words. And the Most High rose up the spirit of Simeon and Levi and to kill him. Shalom style. No Gentiles.
And what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly. They pursued also after the proud men.
The who?
The proud men.
The proud men were.
Who were the proud men?
The honey ham soaked in Coca-Cola with the pineapple.
The men who decided to be the sellouts in strange apparel. The ones who chose to follow the king's commandment. But maybe even saw the error in it. Yeah, because you got to remember, Israel was a simple people. They followed a set apart law. They weren't trying to be like the rest of the world or the other nations. But there were men in Israel that chose the economic and financial and political advancements of society. And so they went to the Gentiles and leads with the Gentiles to then now become equals. And it backfired on them, right? So you got these men who now they're going through Israel, or they're going through the land, purging out all the idolatry and all the lewdness and lawlessness that was placed upon the people through them accepting license from King Antiochus. And so it says they pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hand. So they recovered the law out of the land. Look at what it says right here. They recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles and out of the hand of kings. Neither suffered they the sinner to triumph.
So they got copies of our records, of our law, and sat down there and taught the people. Right? Taught our people. You see what I'm saying? And so they suffered, they not to sin. So choose life, choose good, choose death, or evil. Right? And that's what we're trying to, that's simply what we're trying to do, is teach our people the laws of the Most High. I mean, that's that. You see what I'm saying? So if anybody is speaking against the law, then you can identify that, hey, you're going off. I mean, regardless of what you're saying. You see what I'm saying? If you're going off as an individual, okay, you're going off, brother. Hey, who you decide you talk to him. Now, you go outside and you pulling a doctrine for all Israel, now you really going off. Now you being a stumbling block for everybody. I'm at your door. Simple. You know what I'm saying? That's just simple.
Life in the mountains or life in the hills proved rough for Mattathias. And so we're at the part of the story now where Mattathias is getting ready to die. And so he giving the game to his sons. And they read in verse 49, now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now hath pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation. Now, therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law.
Read that 49 again.
Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now hath pride and rebuke gotten strength.
Right. So the pride of following the heathen ways and the laws and the customs was rebuked, and the Most High law is strengthened. Right? At the time of destruction that happened, when they had to rage this war and the wrath of indignation, right? The Most High wrath. I'm about to go. But go ahead. Let's see what happens.
Now, therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law.
No. We're not under the law. We don't have to keep the law.
Be ye zealous for the law.
No one knows.
Be ye zealous for the law.
Go ahead.
Everybody say, be ye zealous.
Be ye zealous.
Come on, louder.
Be ye zealous. Come on, y'all.
Be ye zealous.
I don't think some of the adults are saying it, because I hear children on there. I know some adults in here.
Now,
some teenagers in here. Do it on three. 1, 2, 3.
Be ye zealous
for the law.
And give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. They go to Judges 5:11 again.
Call to remembrance.
Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor.
There you go.
And
acts.
an everlasting name.
Remember the acts. Call to remembrance the acts of our fathers did in their time. Whatever times.
Because in their time,
it was various times.
they did great acts.
There were times in Egypt.
They was action figures.
There were times in during Esther.
Action
There was
figures.
time during Hanukkah, right? During this time.
Action figures.
Right? There was various times during Jephthah's daughter.
Action figures.
Right? That nobody in Israel doing. Right? Nobody's doing that. The celebrating the daughter of Jephthah that died and kept her virginity. Because her father made an oath to the Most High. And he had to keep his oath.
You'll find that.
She was the judgment of the oath.
There you go.
And he even allowed her to go away and enjoy herself for 90 days or whatever, and she still came back a virgin. She could have went out there and been sexy red.
And you can find that in the book of Judges.
Okay?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so, hey man, y'all looking at some fire right here, man. He said, listen, Mattathias is talking to his sons, and he says, call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time.
Rehearse the righteous acts, right here, Judges 5:11. Bang.
So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name.
Go ahead.
Was not Abraham...
So they wasn't just singing those songs. They was actually doing the Lord. Read.
Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness?
Go ahead.
Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made master of Egypt.
Right, kept the commandment. What was the commandment? Show you that they had the commandments even then. The commandment of what? Adultery. Women and ladies were trying to give them the buns. Go ahead.
Phinehas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Jesus, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel.
That's Joshua. Go ahead.
Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land.
Right. Caleb and Joshua were the only two in that generation that made it out of the wilderness. Everybody that was 20 years and up that came out of Egypt died in those 40 years. So if you was 20 years old, you only lived to be 60. You did not get out of that wilderness. Everybody that was 19 and under came up out of Egypt.
20 and over?
Land. You was 20, you turned 20 years old, riddles for you, 40 words. It was a rap for about. Go ahead.
David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom.
Right. And how he was merciful. He could have killed Saul. He could have killed Saul multiple times. But he said, touch not the Lord's what? Anointed. Go ahead.
Elias, for being zealous and fervent, for the law was taken up into heaven.
Right? Talking about Elijah the prophet.
Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael, by believing, were saved out of the flame.
Bel and the dragon, the three holy boys, right? When they was in the fire, right? They believed in the Most High. See, they're showing you their faith in the laws. All of them had to forsake the law. All of them was protected. All of them was tried. See, David could have used his anger and vengefulness against Saul that tarnished his name. Had him running around the whole world as a fugitive. You see what I'm saying? Right? When he was honored and respected, then he started hating on him, being jealous over who? The women world.
That song. Saul slain his thousands, David his tens of thousands.
He said, what? I'm the king of all the women.
How he gonna get a live song than me?
I'm the king word.
Yes, he did.
All the women is praising his word. A lot of these niggas be jealous of women be liking brothers. That's what the body word.
That's the
that brother
flesh.
can't be body. Why you gotta have all word?
Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Look at that.
Why you gotta have all word?
Why I can't have all the words?
Right?
Why,
See?
hey.
And all that is hatred. Right? Envy. And Paul and Saul and David could have killed Saul numerous times. But he didn't. Go ahead.
And thus consider ye throughout all ages, that none.
No.
We're right. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered out of the mouth of lions.
Right. They threw Daniel in the lion's pit. Right. We believe these stories. We don't care about you people that don't want to believe the Bible. I don't care nothing you talking about.
Oh, don't you dare open your mouth and say this is figuratively.
Nobody
this ain't figurative.
That's not no figure.
This is facts.
The Most High put the spirit on the line and do nothing. That's just that. You see what I'm saying? It's all glory to the Most High. And all these nations that didn't give glory to the Most High, like Nebuchadnezzar, he made them become a beast. All right? So get out of here. We don't care what you're talking about. Read.
And thus consider ye throughout all ages.
Here you go. Here you go.
Everybody say consider.
Consider.
And thus consider ye throughout all ages, that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
So if you trust in the Lord, right, and you're studying to show yourself approved and reading the Bible, you sisters that has a husband or don't, you should understand what the scriptures say. The man is the head of the woman. You married sisters, you're supposed to honor your husband, reverence your husband, respect him in everything. Be quiet, not usurp authority, right? Not being a dragon, right? Being contentious. If you stay in that spirit, and if your man is being a demon, and you're praying in the spirit of the Most High, you trust in the Most High, who the Most High going to protect?
Automatically.
He said, none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
So who do we put our trust in?
The Father.
Right. No, I didn't mean to cut y'all.
Like, look.
Who we put our trust in, y'all? No. Too many Israelites in here to be quiet. Who we put our trust in?
The Father. Say it.
The Father.
YAHAWAH. YAHAWAH.
Y'all better understand something. Then this is just the reality. We all better come to this reality. That's every Israelite household. He can raise up the rocks to praise him. He don't need us to do nothing. He can raise up the rocks. That's why we need this. You need to know this. You need to understand that these victories that were put in place is for you to be sitting here right now. That's how you sitting here right now. If this didn't happen, you wouldn't be here.
The Most High give you an example of brothers that stood for the word of the Most High, even when their life was on the line.
Come on, man. Love
So
it.
nobody can make no excuses. You can't make, your life is not even on the line. So I don't want to hear, you're not thrown in the damn lion's den, bro.
Nope.
Because you're an Israelite.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? You're not thrown in a fire because you're an Israelite.
You
bro.
comfortable? This is comfortable captivity. That's what this is. That's why a lot of Israelites ain't really battle proven like that. This is comfortable captivity. That's why you got too many happy slaves. There's too many happy slaves in Israel.
Read the next verse, man. This is going out to all you niggas out here talking crazy. Read.
Verse 62. Fear not then the words of a sinful
You
man.
want to go against the scripture, you're a sinful man. Read.
Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms.
You're gonna be dumb and inhabited by the worms.
So those that don't know what dung is, D-U-N-G, that means doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
The poop. The duque.
And if you want to put it in the S-H-I-T, word.
The sugar honey iced tea.
Sugar, honey, iced tea.
Ah,
and
you
worms.
thought you called a slip, didn't you? Ah, that's what's up to the day. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found. We're talking about the
Right.
sinful man.
Right. You on top. Everybody follow us down. Listen to our doctrines of devils. And tomorrow you're going to be with the dung. The dung and the worms. Go ahead.
Because he is returned into his dust, and his thought is come to
So
nothing.
all that you were talking, right, is nothing now. Right? You were used by Satan. You were used by Satan because you ain't trust in the Most High, nor the forefathers and foremothers that stood for the Most High, bro. You're an excuse alike. That's just that, bro. Go ahead.
Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men.
How do you show yourself men? Let's see.
Be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law.
On behalf of the law. Right? You ain't no man if you're not following and acknowledging the laws of the Most High, bro. That's just that. You ain't a man and you ain't a woman according to the Most High. The Most High tell you in Wisdom Solomon 9:6, though a man never be so perfect, if thy wisdom is not with him, he shall be nothing regarded.
So I don't want to hear all this talk about high value men and high value women, because according to the scriptures, This describes a high-value man and a high-value woman according to thus saith Yahweh. This is the description of a high-value man, high-value woman. That's what it is.
A man shall be committed according to his wisdom. Proverbs 12 and 8. Right? What wisdom? Deuteronomy 4 and 4. Going down. Like, we're not playing no game. The scriptures is clear. Right? If you want to show yourself a man, you have to show yourself a man in behalf of the law. You're trying to be an excusealite and say we don't got to do this, we don't got to do that. Now you say we ain't got to do one thing, we ain't got to do two things, we ain't got to do three things. We ain't got to do no things. Let's just be real. Right? If you fear the Most High, you keep his commandment. Simple. You keep the word of the Father. Simple. That's it. I don't care who you think you are. Read.
Wherefore ye, my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it ye shall obtain glory. That's
how you're going to get glory, by following the laws of the Most High, man. Right? Our religion. Our way. MASHAYACH said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, man. Right? Go ahead.
And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel.
Yeah.
Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you.
Go ahead.
As for Judas Maccabees, I had to look at the camera.
So Simon is the counselor. Everybody has to play a part. Everybody has to play a part. Everybody's not a counselor. That's why the scripture says beware of a counselor. You see what I'm saying? Because you're a counselor for his self. Okay? Go ahead.
As for, verse 66, as for Judas Maccabees, he hath been mighty and strong even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people.
Everybody's not a warrior. Everybody's not a fighter. So our champion fighter and warrior, they the one that's going to lead the army. Right? We need somebody that's going to guide the army with the counsel. That's the wisdom. Go ahead.
Verse 67. Take also unto you all those that observe the law.
No. We don't under the law. We got to keep the law.
Take also unto you all those that observe the law.
Whether they in captivity under the Hellenistic period, they still talking about keeping the law. You niggas are liars.
Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
That's the proclamation. Avenge ye the wrong of your people. Go.
Recompense fully the heathen.
Recompense fully the who?
The heathen.
The heathen, which is Gentile.
Pay them back fully.
Go ahead.
And take heed to the commandments of the law.
I mean, keep saying this over and over and over and over.
It keep going back to the law. It keep going back to the law. And it's not talking about the laws of the land. It's gonna keep going back to the law.
This is clear. You got the laws of the king, right? That's ruling, and then you have the laws of God. How you fix your lips to speak against the law of the Father? You wild. Read.
So he blessed them and was gathered to his fathers. And he died in the 146th year. And his sons buried him in the sepulchres of his fathers at Modim. And all Israel made great lamentation for him.
Come on. All right, so we're going to read. We're going to do more reading and emphasize. But come on, we're going to get straight to the Hanukkah feast. Read. But we're going to interject. But go ahead. We are now. So what did you learn in that chapter? Anything stood out in that chapter? Anybody can raise their hand or I'm going to pick them. The Mario. Keep the Most High commandments to get to the kingdom. What about you, Junior? Where do you get out that chapter? Between the in-between sleeper rules.
Hey, Mom.
I want what you said. What you say. You say.
You can keep it strong. You want it strong?
Deny, go ahead. Obey the Most High, Kakama. Your name means wisdom. Put the phone down. Why are you on that phone? Oh, you reading the scriptures? Okay. Where do you get out the chapter? Millie Rocks.
I learned that if this didn't take place, then the word wouldn't be fulfilled. As far as the Messiah coming from Judah.
Kakam.
I heard from the Bible that when y'all was reading something, Oklahoma said if you love.
Come close. Come over here. Come close. Say it in the mic.
Uncle Lenon said, if you love the Lord, then like you have to prove it.
Yeah. Prove it.
But think about that though. The Israelites went into covenant with the Most High. All that you said we would do, right? It sounds good. He could have just took that and ran with it. But don't you think he wanted to see if they was really about what they were talking about? Don't that make sense? Like
I gotta put it to the top.
I got to see if you really about what you talking about, huh? And this is what it came down to. Either you with me or you against me. So those that he knew were against him, he didn't have to prove them to know it. He already knew it. He wanted us to see it. So that we know not to then associate or align ourselves with those who didn't want to follow it. Because you got to understand something. Remember the contrast we were talking about? There were Israelites that did not associate and did not fool with. They had a disdain for Hellenized Jews because they had picked up Greek culture. They wouldn't even go into the other cities. They even if someone from these cities had brought that culture to them, they would then laugh it to scorn because according to an Israelite or someone that's a Jew, Torah has way more power than any other law. That's why you see so many men, women, and children who were dying at that time because they knew that the laws of the Most High, it made more sense to keep that than to follow the commandments of the king. So now, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're loyal to the Most High.
That's it.
That's just what it is. Either you believe it or you don't.
Right.
That's just that. You can't perpetrate the fraud when we have the history records of Israelite people dying to keep the law and fighting for the law. I mean, that's just that, bro. I don't care what you're talking about. They was in captivity. We're in captivity. I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I'm also going to say this. I read the book of Maccabees, and no, I don't see you. I read the book of Maccabees. We reading, and you got to understand something.
Hey.
These men did mighty works. Look at what they was doing.
This is nothing personal to nobody in particular.
No, not at all. This is just what it is.
This is about the Most High law, statutes, commandments.
That's it.
And if you are in opposition of it, then you are part of it.
That's right.
Of the judgment of what the Most High is saying. If you are one that stands for the law, then that's what you represent. Finish reading. Let's read it.
All right, we're in the book of Maccabees.
3-1.
3-1. Then his son Judas, called Maccabees, rose up in his stead, and all his brethren helped him, and so did all they that held with his father, and they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. So they was happy to fight. They were happy to fight. So he got his people great honor, and put on a breastplate as a giant, and girt his warlike harness about him, and he made battles protecting the host with his sword. In his acts he was like a lion, and like a lion's whelp roaring for his prey.
In his acts he was like a lion of Judah, even though he was a Levite. So he was a lion, has no fear. Read.
For he pursued the wicked, and sought them out, and burnt up those that vexed his people. Wherefore The wicked shrunk for fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled, because salvation prospered in his hand.
So I love that scripture. Let's think about he's a lion's whelp roaring for his prey, not from his prey, like it says in Genesis 49. This is the brother that stood up and became the lion against the prey. You feel me? And we need to get that Maccabean spirit. So if you don't have that spirit of the Maccabees, true, you see what I'm saying? Then you're not representing these laws, these statutes, these commandments. You ain't rocking with the religion of Israel. So I get that. You see what I'm saying? Right? Be aware of the symbolism of the meaning of names as well.
That's very important. I like that you said that.
I'm quick spirit. That's what Mahar means. Quick spirit. Right? If you're Solomon, you're full of wisdom and experience. I mean, everything that categorized in the good of Solomon should be you or David or anybody. You see what I'm saying? Abigail, right? You call yourself Judith. You got to fit those characteristics. You see what I'm saying? I didn't name myself, right? So I didn't try to further exhort myself in a name. It was given to me through the Spirit of the Most High, right? Which I'm going to name and give my brother a Hebrew name. Okay? That resonates with his spirit. You see what I'm saying? So go ahead. Finish reading.
Verse 7, he also grieved many kings.
He grieved also many kings, go ahead.
And made Jacob glad with his axe.
With his what?
With his axe.
Axe, go ahead.
And his memorial.
And his what?
And his memorial.
And his memorial.
Is blessed forever.
Right. We have the day of Maccabees, right? The day of Judas Maccabees. We have the day of Nicanor. We have a lot of different things, even giving praise to this man. Like what we doing? Come on.
Moreover, he went through the cities of Judah, destroying the ungodly out of them, and turning away wrath from Israel, so that he was renowned unto the utmost part of the earth, and he received unto him such as were ready to perish.
Go ahead.
Then Apollonius gathered the Gentiles together, and a great host out of Samaria, to fight against Israel.
What were the Gentiles trying to do? Fight against Israel. That means they were trying to kill it. The Gentiles. The Gentiles. The Gentiles. The Gentiles.
Yeah.
Go.
When Judas perceived, he went forth to meet him, and so he smote him and slew him. Many also fell down slain, but the rest fled.
Shalom is thou, Apollonius. And you Gentiles. Bye-bye. Go ahead.
Wherefore Judas took their spoils, Apollonius' sword also, and therewith he fought all his life long.
So to give you a summary of this warrior of ours. He fought his whole life. His whole life was him being the warrior. Go ahead.
Now when Saron, a prince of the army of Syria, heard say that Judas had gathered unto him a multitude and company of the faithful to go out with him to war.
The faithful, if you're faithful, that means you keep the law. Faith without works
is dead.
That faithful. They was fighting for the war. I mean, to keep the law.
You had a question? Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 14, he said, I will give me a name and honor in the kingdom, for I will go fight with Judas and them that are with him, who despise the king's command.
Right, the Gentiles. So here this guy, Siran, said, I am going to be the champion of the Gentiles to subdue Maccabees. Right? I will be the champion. Let's see what happens to your master. The Gentiles.
So he made him ready to go up, and there went with him a mighty host of the ungodly to help him.
Of the who?
Of the ungodly.
Of the ungodly. These are the Gentiles now.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Gentiles. I didn't make it up. The ungodly word. Go ahead.
And to be avenged of the children of Israel.
They want to avenge the children of Israel for our wars, our victories the Most High was giving us. Go.
And when he came near to the going up of Betharon, Judas went forth to meet him with a small company.
Our champion came up there with a what?
With a small company.
He came up there with a small company. Right? Here's this guy, you want to rise up, you feeling himself, you want to keep the king's commandment, right? Antichus, Epiphany. Go ahead.
who, when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able, being so few, to fight against so great a multitude and so strong, seeing we are ready to faint with fasting all this day?
Right. So they was fasting, right? They say they faint, and they was a small number compared to the Gentiles, like the 300. Whoever saw the movie 300, right? So put that perspective when you saw the movie 300, when they was fighting all the nations. If you watch that movie, you realize there were many different nations that they were fighting. They start showing all kind of different nations and people they were fighting, right? That's the symbolism of talking about what's going on with Israel, right? Not even at this time only, but also in the during the Judges area around that time as well. But go ahead.
So at this time, Antiochus was on another conquest. So he sends this man, I think his name is Licinius. Hey, go fight Judah Maccabees, take care of this problem. This guy goes and he gets a company and goes up to Beth-horon, or going up a Beth-horon, which is like the plains and the mountains. Judas knew this area well, right? So the men that were in the company of Judas was a small number, but we got to remember something. The Most High did not choose us because we were many. He chose us because we were small in number. And with a small number, he was able to do mighty things. So Judas is telling the men, hey man, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of a few. And with the God of heaven, it is all one.
What verse we in?
We're in verse 18.
Yeah, because I don't know what you read.
To deliver with a great multitude or a small company. A lot of my researching came from the works of Josephus, and then with the Apocrypha, right? And then like some Encyclopedia Britannica.
Well, I just wanted to know what verse you was in, because
Yeah.
I was trying to follow you in the reading.
Salakia.
It mentioned Apollonius and it mentioned Saron that rose up, right? To stand for Epiphanes, right? Which is Antiochus the Fourth, right? He was the king that was ruling at this time. He's that wicked root in Daniel.
Right.
Okay? So it's going in and talking about where in 16, when he came in there, going up to Beth-horon, Judas went forth to meet him with a small company, who when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able to be in so few, fight against such a great multitude and so strong, seeing we are ready to fight, ready to faint with fasting all this day. Now, go ahead and read that, sir.
All right. And unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of a few. And with the God of heaven, it is all one, to deliver with a great multitude or a small company. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength cometh from heaven.
Listen to that. Now, how many of us ever experienced about to get jumped? Or an unruly multitude and a whole bunch of people wanted to beat you, was outnumbered in a fight. Right? So either you fight or you flight. Let's just be real. You see what I'm saying? Now I've been I ain't gonna hold you. I flew the coop. She wasn't gonna jump my world.
That's why I'm still handsome.
And I flew the coop. But my man Lorenzo wanted to go to the high school in Georgetown, and we would go see our girlfriends at the time, and they ain't like us because we was part, they call us country, and he was like the city boys, like you say, the city, St. Louis and county. And he went and smacked one of the guys over there, right? And I said, man, we got to bounce, bro. You know what I'm saying? But Lorenzo, you know, Duke, if you watching, you know what I'm saying? He's the fight man. So as all of them coming around, gathering and all that, I'm like, oh my goodness, this dude, yo. All I can see is faces looking at me. Every time I look that way, it was a face. I look over there, another face. I look over there, another face looking at me like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like this. I'm outside the circle. Lorenzo was getting encompassed. I told this thing, bro, let's go.
Let's bust a move,
Let's
baby.
go. You smack the man, let's roll, yo. No, you want to still talk and talk to this girl, you try to get me hemmed up. and I wasn't a part of the encompass of the circles. I was eased out the work.
It was, I was trying to slide away.
I slid, flew past my girlfriend and everything. I ran work, buddy. I was ghost.
Yeah.
I wasn't off.
No, he was on.
The most I said in the book of Sirach, don't go down with a
Don't go down the path of a mighty man.
A rude man.
He gonna take you in the alley and beat the brakes off
No,
of you.
I told you, let's go, bro. You bugging out. I'm not gonna get drunk because you want to be foolish. I don't give a damn what you said. The scripture said, I'd rather be a live dog than a dead lion. Go ahead and be the dead lion with no fear word.
Dead lions don't roar.
Show them now.
All right, then.
So when he came down after school, I was like, damn, I'm going to have to fight him now. I was worried about me and him to fight. But then he said, man, don't worry about it, man. I should listen to you, man. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And so he didn't act like a demon, right? But then he said, man, I'm going to get them, though. And then I joined that. I should not join that league. And now I go, we wait for cats after school on a whole other block. And we set it off on him, me, him, and some other dude. And we fight the wrong people. Now they hunting for us every time we come downtown. Every time we in the area, they hunting for us. You see what I'm saying? Like that's a scary thing. Like even at the, they were gonna jump me at the school. We went and watched the game. And they told me, they said, yo, tell your man to leave, yo. They about to jump over a girl. They about to jump me. So I had to flee for my dolo and went to McDonald's, and we ended up getting a brawl over there because he jumped in some other nigga business over there. And we had a big brawl there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you see more people coming at you, you initially gonna be like, dang, I'm about to get my behind tore down.
Maybe two. I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
3 or 4? I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. So that's how they looking at it. Like, man, look at these thousands of people against us. They gotta be the spirit of the Most High.
Right.
It empowers you. So that's what's going on. I just want to give you an example.
Don't care if it's 100 men. No, you ain't gonna say that?
Oh, yeah, he's
I just want to see if he was listening.
Yeah.
Don't care if it's 100 men.
Right. Yeah, let me say that verse. Go ahead.
Verse 19. For the victory of battle stands not in the multitude of an host, but strength comes from heaven.
Come from the Most High. Read.
They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us and our wives and children and to spoil us.
Right, so they feel like they got this. Because we outnumber them. We about to eradicate these dudes. Go ahead.
But we fight.
What do we know?
But we fight.
What do we fight for, bro?
We fight for our lives and our laws.
What?
And our laws.
See, keep talking about the laws. Don't let nobody tell you wrong for keeping the Most High's law. I don't give a damn if it's even me, your brother, your sister, your child. I don't give a damn. I'm not putting no Christmas tree up nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm not doing no baby New Year's.
Reverend Deacon
I'm not doing no Valentine's Day. You want to leave me Shalom Tha.
Bye.
Deuces. We not putting on no pink suits for Easter. No.
No pastel colors.
Nothing you talking about I'm doing, man. That's not in the Bible. No. I'm not eating honey ham glazed ham.
No
Because
more.
you said we're on the law of liberty. I'm not doing it.
No more water bugs on butter. No more.
Oh, no.
No more crustaceans. no more water roaches.
Come on, man.
All praises. It's like, and now as soon as he had left off speaking.
22.
Okay, wherefore Yahweh himself will overthrow them before our face, and as for you, be ye not afraid of them. Now as soon as he had left off speaking, verse 23, he left suddenly upon them, and so Saran and his host was overthrown before him. And they pursued them from the going down of Beth-Horon unto the plain, which were slain about 800 men of them, and the residue fled into the land of the Philippines. Then began the fear of Judas and his brethren, and an exceeding great dread to fall upon the nations round about them. Insomuch as his fame came unto the king, and all the nations talked of the battles of Judas.
Come on, man. Look at that. How many times they really, why this history is not being taught in school? Why? Why?
Can you explain
The
that?
article is trying to maybe going to push putting the commandments and different stuff back in the school.
Right, I saw that article too. Why they not talk about the history of the Jews and Maccabees? They talk about Alexander the Great. What about Judas Maccabees? Why they don't talk about him?
Because he's black.
Oh.
Because he's Israelite. You
Why don't
already
talk
know.
about him? Why don't they exhort him? I mean, he's here fighting against a known ruler and Epiphanes. Like, come on, like, what we doing? We hiding stuff there?
And you know what's interesting is that to study the Maccabean revolt, there now is the connection between what we weren't taught as far as how we came from the New Testament to the Old Testament.
Exactly. How you jump from the Persian and Mede Empire straight to the Roman Empire in the Bible?
So there's no in between. So you got a period of
That's 400 years.
yep, almost 500, pretty much. Like
Yeah.
we rounded to the nearest 100. Yeah.
Like 400 years of missing history. Just, we in Rome now, man, the birth of Jesus.
You know,
Well, we were this prior to the Mede Empire. Like, what happened there, buddy?
somebody got to explain it.
Go ahead.
All right, here we are. We are at
We're
verse.
explaining it. Now.
We're at verse. we're at verse 28.
No,
We're at verse 27. Salakia.
Okay.
Now, when King Antiochus heard these things, he was full of indignation. Wherefore he sent and gathered together all the forces of his realm, even a very strong army. He opened also his treasure, and he gave his soldiers pay for a year, commanding them to be ready whensoever he should need them. Nevertheless, when he saw that the money of his treasures failed, and that the tributes in the country were small because of the dissension and the plague which he had brought upon the land in taking away the laws which had been of old time. See, it said old time, y'all. So everybody say old time.
Old time. So this dude is scraping up all the bread he can get to get some soldiers and mercenaries and everybody to take down Judas. This man going to his own savings account. This man, I better get all the bread because he going to get this guy. He going to stop Judas. Right? See what I'm saying? Nevertheless, when he saw that the money of his treasures failed and that the tributes in the country were small, because of the dissension and plague which he had brought upon the land and taken away the laws that had been of old time, right? You brought this upon you by trying to stop Israel keeping the laws. Their laws. Now it's war, it's up. Go ahead.
He feared that he should not be able to bear the charges any longer, nor to have such gifts to give so liberally as he did before, for he had abounded above the kings that were before him.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, being greatly perplexed in his mind, he determined to go into Persia, there to take the attributes of the country, the tributes, Salaki, of the countries, and to gather much money. So he left Lysias, a nobleman, and one of the blood royal, to oversee the affairs of the king from the river Euphrates unto the borders of Egypt, and to bring up his son Antiochus until he came again. Moreover, he delivered unto him half of his forces and the elephants, and gave him charge of all things that he would have done, as also concerning them that dwelt in Judah and Jerusalem, to wit, that he should say.
That might be Antiochus the fourth in there. I'm not sure. I gotta look at that.
Because you have
got Antiochus the third and Antiochus the fourth.
right, because this happened around like 198 BC. Yeah. So it says that he should place strangers in all their quarters and divide their land by lot. So the king took half of the forces that remained and departed from Antioch, his royal city, the 147th year.
What verse you in?
We're in verse 37. And having passed the river Euphrates, he went through the high countries. Then Lysias chose Ptolemy, the son of Doramenes, Nicanor, and Gorgias, mighty men of the king's friends. And with them he sent 40,000 footmen and 7,000 horsemen to go into the land of Judah and to destroy it as the king commanded. So they went forth with all their power, and came and pitched by Amos in the plain country. And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much, with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves.
What they were doing?
Took silver and gold very much with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves. A power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines joined themselves unto them. Now when Judas and his brethren saw that miseries were multiplied, and that the forces did encamp themselves in their borders, for they knew how the king's commandment had given, for they knew how the king had given commandments to destroy the people and utterly abolish them, they said to one another, let us restore the decayed fortune of our people, and let us fight for our people and the sanctuary.
Look at that. So all of nation is in league to destroy Israel, the fight against Judas Maccabees, the revolt. And now they fighting the people that's not warriors. They're oppressing not the regular common folks. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 44, then was the congregation gathered together, that they might be ready for battle, and that they might pray and ask mercy and compassion. Now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. The sanctuary was also trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from Jacob, and the pipe with the harp ceased.
So they come in, that's our temple. Go ahead.
Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Mizpah, over against Jerusalem, for in Mizpah was the place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads and rent their clothes and laid open the books of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likenesses of their images.
Right, so now they're going to take our book of the law and they're going to make Moses look like them. They're going to make the people of the Bible look like them. Right? That's how you psychologically destroy your people. Right? So they take our history, our records, and they make them look like them. Paint the images, likeness of their images like themselves. Right? So when you see these images around, that's not biblical. It's not historical.
Facts.
Okay? Go ahead.
Then they brought also the priest's garments and the first fruits, verse 49, and the tithes and the Nazarites they stirred up, who had accomplished their days. Then they cried with a loud voice toward heaven, saying, what shall we do with these? And whither shall we carry them away? For thy sanctuary is trodden down and profaned, and thy priests are in heaviness and brought low. And lo, the heathen
the Gentiles,
the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagine against us, thou knowest. How shall we be able to stand against them, except thou, O YAHAWAH, be our help?
Go ahead.
Then sounded they with trumpets and cried with a loud voice. And after this, Judas ordained captains over the people, even captains over thousands and over hundreds and over 50s and over 10s.
So when brothers and sisters be getting crazy about brothers giving men rank, that's still rehearsing the righteous acts. If they have no careful organization where they have men that's an officer of 10 or officer of 20 or officer of 50, it can be justified in the scripture. Simple. Right? Everybody's not a, you may have camps that's a war camp. You're more militant out there with the delivery. Okay? It's all spiritual. Go ahead.
After this, okay, I said that. Okay, so verse 56, but as for such as were building houses or had betrothed wives or were planting vineyards or were fearful.
Or what?
Or were fearful.
So those brothers that was building a house and they just took a wife or wives, right? Or they were planting a vineyard, doing a normal thing, right? Or fearful to fight. Yeah.
Those he commanded that they should return every man to his own house according to the law.
According to the law, right? If you scared, you can't be out here with us because you're going to put fear on him, and him.
It's very much contagious. Fear, just like courage, is contagious. All right, y'all.
Right. So if you got somebody that's motivated, that's strong, that fight, that encourages you, that spirit gets in you ready to fight. But if somebody get killed,
then it's a strong possibility that scary just might rub off on you.
You like, yeah, let's freestyle.
And there's nothing scary than a group of men being scared.
Right?
That's a terrible thing.
So spirits can jump. Angry spirits jump from one person to one person. Loving spirits can jump from one person to one person. It's all spiritual. Right? You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 57, so the camp removed and pitched upon the south side of Amos. And Judah said, arm yourselves and be valiant men.
Bring it up.
And see that ye be in readiness against the morning.
Go ahead.
That ye may fight with the nations that are assembled together against us to destroy us and our sanctuary.
Go ahead.
For it is better to die in battle.
It's better to what?
It is better for us to die in battle than to behold the calamities of our people and our sanctuary.
Man, that's a hard proclamation, boy. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, as the will of YAHAWAH is in heaven, let him do.
It's better to die in battle than to behold the calamities of our people and our sanctuary. The only time we battling or dying in battle is Call of Duty. Fight night. We call that thing?
GTA 5.
What's the other Fortnite? That's what I'm going to say. Oh, you a gangster on that. But we ain't experiencing this right now in this era. And a lot of people that see certain Israelite brothers go out there in the highways and byways, right? That's I would put that to these brothers as the Maccabees, because anything can happen out there. If you ever been out there in a heart or in the heat of the moment, guns being pulled, people threatening to fight you, fights break out. You can get arrested. I got arrested like 3 times out there in Times Square.
Just for telling the truth.
Just for teaching. Got into brawls out there.
Just for talking.
The police and all that.
Just for telling the truth. Just for preaching the Most High Word.
Shout out to Sabal that was kicking the dang police officer crazy. Said, get your hands up. He kicked him like 7 million times. That's your buddy. Right? He didn't get arrested or nothing. They arrested me, had me going to court for. I was the one teaching. And this guy, a Caucasian guy from Dallas, we was having a dialogue for like an hour and change. And then another white guy came up there that was up there earlier, and Sabal was teaching, and Sabal had got him irritated. Right? And I was telling Sabal, come on, Sabal, stay in the scriptures. Thou knowest. But he came back hyped off the Budweisers or the Michelobs. And I'm teaching, he wanted to fight me, put his hand on my face like, And I said, put your hands in my face again. And I switched my stance, hold 9, and he turned to Rocky Balboa in the world, and punched his over and all that, doing shimmy. He reached over there again, and I went whoop, and went bloom, bro, going. I was in the work. Then I was actually in the world, because I was trying to press charges. They wouldn't let me do it. They arrest me. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. For teaching, we ain't hit nobody. Freedom of speech, right? Freedom of religion, right? Yeah, right. Okay, so this is the last chapter. We're gonna run through it. This is gonna clear up some of Hanukkah, right? But we're gonna read through. It's only 61 verses, but we're gonna read through it. You gotta hear this. You got where you on, Mill?
To the part.
Okay, come on. Read.
We're in the book of 1 Maccabees, and we're at chapter 4. Then took Gorgeous 5,000 footmen and 1,000 of the best horsemen, and removed out of the camp by night, to the end he might rush in upon the camp of the Jews and smite them suddenly. And the men of the fortress were his guides. Now when Judas heard thereof, he himself removed, and the valiant men with him, that he might smite the king's army which was at Amos, while as yet the forces were dispersed from the camp. In the mean season came Gorgias by night into the camp of Judas, and when he found no man there, he sought them in the mountains, for said he, these fellows flee from us. But as soon as it was day, Judas showed himself in the plain with 3,000 men, who nevertheless had neither armor nor swords to their minds. And when they saw the camp of the heathen, that it was strong and well harnessed, and compassed round about with horsemen, and these were expert of war, then said Judas
So
to
they
the...
saw the Gentiles, that it was strong and well harnessed, compassed about with horsemen. These was experts of war, right? But let's see what Judas said. Go ahead.
Then said Judas to the men that were with him,
Fear ye not their multitude.
neither be ye afraid of their assault. Remember how our fathers were
What are we
delivered.
supposed to do?
Remember.
Romans 15 and 4,
Remember.
Job 8 and 8,
Remember.
Deuteronomy 32 and 9, I believe it is.
You better remember.
Remember. Go
He
ahead.
said, remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea, when Pharaoh pursued them with an army.
Go ahead.
Now therefore let us cry unto heaven, if peradventure the Most High will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy this host from before our face this day.
Go ahead.
That so all the heathen may that so all the heathen may know that there is one who delivereth and saveth Israel.
One that delivereth and saveth who?
Israel.
So everybody.
No, Israel.
Save who?
He saves Israel.
Israel, the heathen and Gentiles warring against us. All of a sudden now, 400 years later, let's save the Gentiles.
There is one that delivereth and saves Israel.
Are you serious?
You
Go
better
ahead.
know that. Verse 12.
One. Read that again.
That so all the heathen may know that there
First
is
Maccabees
one.
3:11. First Maccabees 3:11. 3:11. 3:11.
4:11.
4:11. Oh yeah, sorry. 4:11.
There is one that delivereth
One.
and saves Israel.
One.
Just one.
Deliver.
Uno.
And save Israel.
Unse.
Right?
Wherefore,
The God of Israel.
then the strangers lifted up their eyes and
Even
saw
though
them.
it's Judas Maccabees fighting.
There's
physically.
one. No credit.
Go ahead.
There's just one. Then the strangers lifted up their eyes and saw them coming over against them. Wherefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they that were with Judas sounded their trumpets. So they joined battle, and the heathen, being discomfited, fled into the plain. Howbeit, all the hindmost of them were slain with the sword, for they pursued them into Gezerah, and unto the plains of Idumea, and Azotus, and Jamia, so that there were slain of them upon 3,000 men.
3,000 men was taken out. Go ahead.
This done, Judas returned again with his host from pursuing them,
Go ahead.
and said to the people, be not greedy of the spoil, inasmuch as there is a battle before us.
Don't worry about the spoils. Read.
And Gorgias and his hosts are here by us in the mountain. But stand ye now against our enemies and overcome them, and after this ye may boldly take the spoil.
So there are two battles. They just killed 3,000 dudes over here. These dudes over there. We can't get unfocused. We won, right? 3,000 people are out of there. Now they got a whole other people they got to fight. Go ahead.
As Judas was yet speaking these words, there appeared a part of him looking out of the mountain, who, when they perceived that the Jews had put their host to flight and were burning the tents, for the smoke that was seen declared what was done. When therefore they perceived these things, they were sore afraid, and seeing also the host of Judas in the plain ready to fight.
So now how do you see how the spirit is? They done killed 3,000 men. They burned the tents, right? They looking, and the Gentiles is looking and seeing what's going on. And they like, man, we up out of here, man. They done killed them dudes, man. Like, we about to dip. Go ahead.
They fled everyone into the land of strangers. Then Judas returned to spoil the tents, where they got much gold and silver and blue silk and purple of the sea and great riches.
They ain't even had to fight them cats. Right? The Most High put the spirit of fear upon them. Go ahead.
After this they went home and sung a song of thanksgiving and praise the Lord in heaven, because it is good, because his mercy endures forever.
Yeah.
Thus Israel had a great deliverance that day.
Yeah.
Now all the strangers that had escaped came and told Lysias what had happened, who, when he heard thereof, was confounded and discouraged, because neither such things that he would were done unto Israel, nor such things as the king commanded him were come to pass. The next year, therefore, following, Lysias gathered together 70,000 choice men afoot and 5,000 horsemen, that he might subdue them.
How many men is that in totality? How much is the score?
60? Is it 60?
That's six. The total 3 scores is 60,000.
That's 65,000.
65,000
Yep.
people of war. Go ahead.
So they came into Idumaea and pitched their tents at Bethshura, and Judas met them with 10,000 men.
They
Verse
got
30.
65,000 soldiers to 10,000. Who ready to fight? 65,000 to 10,000.
And when he saw that mighty army, he prayed and said, Blessed art
He
thou.
had to pray then.
Right? O
We got to
Savior
pray.
of Israel.
Of who?
Of Israel.
Blessed art thou, O Savior of who?
Of Israel.
No, everybody.
Of Israel.
Of Israel. Go ahead.
Who didst quell the violence of the mighty man by the hand of thy servant David, and gave the host of strangers into the hands of Jonathan the son of Saul and his armor bearer.
You see how he's going back to the stories of our forefathers, right? At this moment where he sees 65,000 soldiers, warriors, ready to fight him. He had to get courage from the history of Israel and went to the scripts, right? To pull strength from it. That's what happens when we going through our trials and tribulations, right? We're supposed to go through the scriptures to pull strength, right? When you sisters got the devil upon you, you're supposed to go back and see which one of my sisters, our foremothers, was in a situation similar to this. How did she act? How did she respond? Did she be a milker and jealousy and demon and disrespecting David, her husband, and calling him vain? Right? Or was she an Abigail? Or was she a Sarah and called him Lord? How are you supposed to respond? Where you pull the information from? From the book of damn niggerism? For you women, for you men, and for you children. That's why you don't study the Bible. You have no protection. You have no strength. You don't want to pull from the scriptures. You want to pull from the book of nigulations. Right? So he's pulling out of the Bible, out of the history of our forefathers, one of our greatest warriors, obviously who he looked up to. Because he's a great warrior.
That's right.
David was a great warrior.
That's right.
Judas Maccabees a great warrior.
That's
Go ahead.
right. Verse 31, Shut up this army in the hand of thy people Israel, and let them be confounded in their power and horsemen.
Shut up this army in the hand of the people of Israel. Go ahead.
Make them to be of no courage, and cause the boldness of their strength to fall away, and let them quake at their destruction.
He after the Most High take their warrior spirit from them. Right? Turn them into a bunch of cowards. Right? Because it's a spirit, man. Like you get that spirit of invincibility, man, you become invincible. Go ahead.
Cast them down with the sword of them that love thee, and let all those that know thy name praise thee with thanksgiving. So they joined battle, and there were slain of the host of Lysias about 5,000 men. Even before them were they slain.
So 5,000, they killed right quick. Wow. Now they got 60. Go ahead.
Now when Lysias saw his army put to flight, and the manliness of Judah's soldiers, and how they were ready either to live or die valiantly, he went into Antiochia, and gathered together a company of strangers, and having made his army greater than it was, he purposed to come again into Judea.
So now, they have 65,000. They only had 10,000. They lost 5,000. He still got shook and said, let me go get some more people. You already outnumbered them by 5.
And they banged on you.
Like, what are you doing?
And they banged
He
on
said,
you.
go get some more people to fight 10,000 men. Go ahead.
Then said Judas and his brethren, behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary.
So they fled, and so now Israel said, we're going to get back and restore the temple and dedicate what?
The sanctuary.
The sanctuary. The feast of what? Dedication.
That's why we call it this.
Let us go to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. Go ahead.
Upon this, all the host assembled themselves together.
And this is a quick review of the story of Judas Maccabees. And we got Maccabees 2 and all that. So the story just here, there, and all that, right? But this is just a quick one, right quick. Go ahead.
Verse 37. Upon this, all the host assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Zion. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate, and the altar profaned, and the gates burnt up, and shrubs growing in the courts as in a forest, or in one of the mountains, yea, and the priest's chambers pulled down, they rent their clothes, and made great lamentation, and cast ashes upon their heads.
So they saw our temple decimated, like it was a wasteland. And they said, man, they rent their clothes. And they cried and prayed to the Most High. Go ahead.
And fell down flat to the ground upon their faces, and blew an alarm with the trumpets.
Blew along with the what?
With the trumpets.
Blew along with the trumpets, man.
And cried toward heaven.
Go ahead.
Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary.
So he had some men in there and said, they go get rid of these people, man. Kill them. Right?
So he chose priests of blameless conversation, and such had pleasure in the law. There it goes again, in the law. Who cleansed the sanctuary and bare out the defiled stones into an unclean place. And when, as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profaned, they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them, because the heathen had defiled it.
The Gentiles.
Because the heathen had defiled it, wherefore they pulled it down.
Go ahead.
And laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place, until there should come a prophet to show them what should be done with them.
Most High going to send a prophet. Right? Someone that's going to speak his word. Right? So this is no new concept. The prophets of the Most High are here. Right? That's why the Christians and all these people stoned and all these people, they're in an uproar, because we're teaching the people to repent. At the end of the day, you're going to have wicked of our people still going off, we making mistakes, and all of that. Right? But they mad. Go ahead.
They then took whole stones according to the law, verse 47, and built a new altar according to the former.
So we even have certain stones that we have to use. They was doing everything to defile the temple, bringing the stones that was not permitted to be in the temple. Right? Go ahead.
And made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hollowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels.
New holy vessels. Go ahead.
And into the temple they brought the candlestick.
The what?
The candlestick.
The candlestick.
And the altar of burnt offerings and of incense and the table.
There go the candlestick. Right? Go ahead.
And upon the altar they burned incense. And the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they might give light in the temple.
There you go, the Feast of Lights, right? We got the menorah, the 7-branch menorah, not the 9-branch menorah, right? Go ahead.
Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table and spread out the veils, and finished all the works which verse 51, and finished all.
Yeah.
Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table and spread out the veils, and finished all the works which they had begun to make. Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning.
So remember when we read in the first chapter, right? They mentioned the 25th day, right? When they decimated the temple.
And that was in the month of
Maccabees,
Kislev.
chapter 1. That was the month of Caslu. They started at bringing war on us on the 15th day. They decimated the temple on the 25th day. So 3 years later, the Most High rededicated the temple. Go ahead.
And offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar burnt offerings which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned
The Gentiles, yeah.
Even in that was it dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals.
So we're dedicating the temple, cleaning the temple, physically cleaning the temple, people up out of there, cleaning, restoring the vessels of gold and silver and all that. We're playing music, right? Yeah.
Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them good success.
Right. Praising the Most High for his victories, wars, triumphs, and all that, who given us good success, right? Go ahead.
And so, verse 56, they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise.
And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings and gladness, meaning they're feasting, because if you burning of your cooking, your burning offering, you eat part of the offering sacrifice, right? Whatever the case is, right? And so they're praising. They're praising the Most High for 8 days, right? So no, we don't have to offer up no live, no sacrifice like that, because Christ came and did away with that, right? We don't have the economics. Remember, they were fighting. It was at war, right? So we're rehearsing the righteous acts as commanded, right? Without having to offer blood sacrifices. So the MASHAYACH is the sacrifice. Read.
They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold.
So now we had golds. We was decorating the house with gold. Yeah.
And with shields.
And with shields, what they talk about, they want to go against the shield.
And the gates.
Yeah.
And the chambers they renewed. And they hanged doors upon them. That was a lot. That was a lot. That was a lot. Hey, they did a lot.
Decorating. Doing a
in the
lot.
rededication of the temple. That wasn't no light thing.
Right.
That's why I had to read it like that. Because it was beyond description. It was deplorable. The heathen did a very, very good job of smearing it up, and then you got Judas, they come in and they get it back right. You know what I'm talking about? So it took work. And so verse 56. Verse 58. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away.
Gentiles was put away.
Not like I said. Because for that the reproach of the heathen.
The Gentiles.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar.
Wait a minute, we don't got to keep the feast days.
Because nobody knows.
We in captivity word.
Nobody knows. Right? Moreover, Judas and his brethren.
They were still up under the Hellenistic empire. Right? They just had a little break right there. They was able to regain the temple. You feel me? The armies left for a minute. But go ahead.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren.
Because we were still under them doing Jonathan, Simon, and all of that after Judas died. They were still warring in captivity, buddy. Go.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren.
That's what I'm saying. This is a quick one. Because there's a whole bunch of history of what was going on with the Maccabees. All through Maccabees 1 and 2. Right? So when you read, you can jump and go through a whole timeline of each son and what they're doing. Right now it's emphasizing Judas, but Judas is mentioned in other places as well. Right? So I'm just giving you a quick one right quick. Go ahead.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren. Okay, verse 59. Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication.
What does ordain mean?
Let's get it.
Let's get ordained. Hold on. Ordained. Ordained. And who was working with Judas Maccabees? Who's behind the wall? Right? The Most High said, I fight for thous. Right? Let's get the word ordained. Maybe you don't know. I don't know. Maybe
No one knows. I like the that's funny.
Ordained, right, to invest with ministerial or priestly authority. He was a Levite. He was an Aaronite. Confirmed holy orders. So authorized as a rabbi. Judas Maccabees was an Aaronite. Okay, so you can't say a damn thing at all.
No.
Nothing.
Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year.
Remember in First Maccabees it said in the winter. Go ahead.
By the space of 8 days.
And they did this after the tabernacles.
From the
other parts of Maccabees, it mentioned they're going to pattern this after the tabernacles. Go ahead.
From the 5 and 20th day of the month Caslu, with mirth and gladness.
Mirth and gladness. So when you're mirth and gladness, aren't you eating? Mirth and gladness got to come with drinking and eating. And they're playing music.
And smiling faces and everybody festive and happy. You know what I mean? It's a good time.
Sleep or bruise? Sleep, she bruise and bruise. Go ahead.
Verse 60. At that time also they builded up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before. And they set there a garrison to keep it, and fortified Bethshura to preserve it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea.
Ooh, that's interesting. So right there, we just got a brief, quick history on some of the battles of Judas Maccabees, this is nowhere near. You need to read the whole book of Maccabees, 1 and 2. Right? To read about Jonathan, read about Simon, right? All of them, everything that was happening. This is a whole history timeline going all the way to John, and all of that, and how the priesthood was polluted and everything. When they started marrying Gentile women and all that. This Maccabees 1, 2 is powerful history. You have to read it. You have to. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, what we should do and what we will do is that we're going to read all of the Maccabees, most I will, the next Hanukkah each day, and read and read through the whole story of what happened during this 400-year period, all the way going into when Rome came into power. You see what I'm saying? So this is history right here.
That's right.
So all praise and glory to YAHAWASHI, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. We keep the Feast of Dedication. Now we got some information. Why we got Happy Purim up there, which is coming up. Passover, which is coming up.
Feast of
Dedication we just did.
We got another Feast of Dedication right there.
So,
Hanukkah, you know what I mean?
Why are we doing these things? Because it's in our records, the Bible. You see what I'm saying? And we don't care what anyone's saying who's in disagreement of that. Okay? What we're going to do is do what the Bible says to the best of our ability. Just like it says about in Romans, you know what I'm saying, about being peaceful with all men as much as in you. Right? Be at peace with all men to the best of your ability.
That don't mean that when it's time, fishermen won't turn to hunters. You better believe it. The time is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Be on your guard. Keep your spiritual head on the swivel, man. Keep the commandments and live. Reject this world system. Resist Hashatan. Y'all already know what it is, man. For myself, my brother here at the house of my hardcore, man. This is Emmanuel Yashala. You already know who this guy is. You gotta say your name, brother. You gotta make sure they know. They know, but you gotta say it one time.
It's your brother, my hardcore, Bunyada, Bunyashala. Just want to go over and finish going over the last class that we did concerning Hanukkah. We could have went more deeper into it, but you know, it's gonna take mad hours to do that.
Thanks.
You see what I'm saying? So all praise and glory to the Most High, Bashim, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. I'm gonna do a class on the Proverbs 31 woman.
I'm with that.
Full court blast. As I'm looking at my older notes I have right here to show you right here. This is in 2013. I put these notes together. And I did it in the audio. So you got boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to add boom, boom, boom.
Now, if you can see that, you got some good eyes. Let me tell you right now. You're going to see it.
First page, back of that page, back of that page, that page, back of that page. I'm about to add some fire and heat on it. So I'm going to tell you right now. You sisters that's claiming that you're a Hebrew Israelite, French's borders of blue, and you're not aspiring to be a Proverbs 31 woman in order with the Most High, you are deceiving thyself. The scripture says she would do him good all the days of her life and not evil. All the days of her life. So it's not, oh, I messed up yesterday. All the days of her life, buddy. All right, so that's another class. I got plenty of classes. These classes I wrote, I'm gonna do them again because I did it over phone. I did it over the phone. We have in our private classes. So all praise go to the Most High. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Right. I guess we're gonna close out.
Let's close out.
We close out with another Our Father prayer.
All right, everybody up, face the east. Y'all know what it is. Women, heads covered. Men, heads uncovered. Make sure we, let's clap it up one time for the Most High and his righteous acts. All the time. Again, we would not be here if it were not for the things that took place historically. It was for purpose. Con? All right, so everybody up. Face the east, hands raised toward Shalom, right? Our Father. Our Father.
Our Father.
Our Father.
Our Father. Can y'all repeat
art
what's
in heaven.
being said, please? Start it over again.
Our Father.
Father,
Which art in heaven.
which art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy will be done.
thy will be done.
In earth
And earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
And forgive us our
And
trespasses
forgive us our trespasses,
as we forgive those
as we forgive
who
those
trespass against
who
us.
trespass against us.
And lead us not
And lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us
But deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For yours is the kingdom
For yours is the kingdom,
and the power
and the power,
and the glory
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Clap it up for the Most High one time, right? We out. Nah,